Halo guys, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome guys. Ketiduran tadi guys ya. Nah, kita lanjutin nobar guys. Lah. Nah. Nanti. Perasaan gue aja pas suara lu agak kecil ya?
Masa normal.
The Dragon at the same time, teleport coming in. Eddie, he's in a spot of bother. He does have his team.
Halo Purkon.
Chain of corruption will connect onto him, and a lot of damage back. Jimmy is still trying to find the damage. Eddie's got nowhere to go. Shutdown does go over to Mir. Grand Sky fall in, but Mir's going to be completely fine. He gets the ultimate off. Hero does jump in. The stun does come through from that counter strike, but the damage is there for the side of the Chiefs. Here comes the between worlds with a flash out from Jimmy, and he still gets sniped by that spear coming through from the Pantheon. Bipans are now joining the fray. He looks for Dyer. Luon doing his best to stay alive. It's a 4v3. This Pantheon.
Ini CHF terkenal nggak sih?
CHF tuh lumayan.
Tapi lebih kalau dibanding tim Secret,
ya tim Secret lebih gede nama gara-gara banyak.
iya sih. Cuman W-nya apa ya? Tim Secret apa ya?
Tim Secret Well gitu loh.
Oh,
Digabung sama tim apa gitu di akuisisi.
tapi tim Secret cuma ini nih.
Cuma ini apa ya?
Yang di LoL-nya?
Iya. Kan soalnya yang apa? Saya tuh kemarin udah rungkat. Makanya udah pada bubar.
Sore Maxel.
Yeah, absolutely. Still, I mean, despite, you know, it's again Team Secret Wales.
LCP itu world-nya LoL apa gimana bang? Ya setara sama world. Cuman ini yang ini awal tahun caranya. Tapi LCP ini belum sih. LCP ini tuh masih kayak apa ya? Turnamen regionnya guys.
Regional, iya.
Yang lolos di sini baru nanti lanjut kayak world gitu, tapi bukan world namanya. Namanya first 10. Terus nanti setelah first 10 ada lagi jadi MSI. Setelah MSI ada lagi baru world. Ya liga regional yang ini Asia nih. Halo Zeno. Sakit juga tuh. Ini enak nih, ini si Varus yang ngikit nih. Anjir pakai Gwinso Varus.
Terima kasih Senpai.
Ini
Chef Dapur Hawk baru saja mengirimkan dukungan 1000. Kursori UOT. Hologram skin LNY 2025 itu harus punya keempat skin ininya ya. Apa salah satu aja cukup?
Harusnya satu aja cukup cuy. Kok kepotong gitu ya cuy?
Was able to flash over the wall. I mean, look, yeah, you don't want to waste your unstoppable onslaught or any of that utility on just finishing off a support Elise, but I mean, Empress Divide would have definitely caught multiple members over that wall and dragged them into a position where unstoppable onslaught, unfortunately, lack of information, you're not going to be able to know that yourself. But as we can see it, there are just these opportunities.
Biasanya sih cukup satu doang cuy, karena itu cukup beli skinnya
Chef
doang.
Dapur Hawk baru saja mengirimkan dukungan 1000. Kursori UOT.
Kayak skin
Hologram skin
Elsa
LNY
kan cuma butuh satu doang sih.
2025 itu harus punya keempat skin ininya ya. Apa salah satu aja cukup?
The True Shot Barrage, just to check the Artican's not being done. The information will be provided now for the side of Chiefs, and ultimately that Israel ult, not all that bad of a cooldown as you do just get it back up very quick.
Katakan ngasih buff apa? Ada yang ngasih hidup 2 kali, tapi sistemnya kayak buyback gitu. Hidupnya di base. Sama ada yang ngebuff efek dragon, efek monster yang kita punya.
Position behind Luon and support, they definitely could have made a play off that, but right now they've got the informational advantage. They're going to see Bio. They're going to commit a lot onto him.
Yeah, he's still feeling okay. Unstoppable Onslaught away, but still that's a lot used. Chain of Corruption now is going to be down, but the Between Worlds, Scion, Biopanther here
Itu
does have
atakan
teleport
namanya ini.
himself, so looking for that
Objektif
recall.
baru.
If they do not cancel it, it could be okay for Chiefs if he's able to get back in. That's going to be the Emperor's Divide going wide, but it was traded for that flash of Dire. Jumian doing the damage. He does get the shutdown, but the flash forward from Hero is going to be good. Lima's very low, but still offering those mystic shots as Mir.
Leonanya nebak doang ultinya anjir, nggak ada orang.
Not enough. Still keep an eye out on Biopanther. He actually teleported, I believe, to get back to safety and then wasn't able to join his team. Still the trade very close. Jumian did pick up a shutdown, but it's a 2-1 again. Team Secret Wales narrowly winning out.
Sumpah main LoL susah. Iya susah lah. Lah AFK kah anjir? Apa kena stun tuh tadi? Di itunya, Sion.
Gak tahu.
I feel like there is a point in that situation where Chiefs should have just completely sacked Artikan, turned and burned.
Iya, nggak kena, kalau kena mati gue anjir. Nah ini nih, asal stun donanya.
Emperor's Divide misses, Solar Flare misses, Jimmy will get a kill. I suppose that's gold at the very least, but you've got 3 champions that are easy mop-ups if they had that as a 5v5 fight.
Yeah, I think while Jimmian did, you know, not land as ulted, it was traded for the flash, so it's understandable.
Meta, emang Sion ini meta nanti?
Iya, kayaknya sekarang lagi kuat di PC. Togat, Sion, terus tuh apa lagi terakhir lupa.
So, we'll see.
Kenapa Azir selalu di-pick? Karena bagus cuy, damage-nya sakit. Bisa itu juga, nyulik. Kalau dia coba diculik, bisa diinin balik ke dia. Diculik balik atau dijauhin.
Yeah, Bio's going to play frontline. I mean, this is what we saw in their win. Biopanther just sitting here, denying anyone access to the pit. Artikan does go down. It was a dodgy smite, but it's fine. Unstoppable Onslaught now will be met with the repel. Taki should be taken out. No, the repel gets him out far enough, and it's going to be the flash from his toe. So while no kills off the back.
Berarti emang harus berdarah banget deh kayaknya baru ini ya. Kemarin yang killnya dikit itu dapatnya apa nih? Masih hidup 2 kali kan?
Kemarin ada sih yang dikit banget, hidup 2 kali.
Jadi mungkin kayaknya mesti di atas 20 kill apa, atau 30 kill kayaknya.
Nggak tahu dah.
Baru ganti jadi buff ini, Dragon. Nah tuh dia mati, hidup lagi guys, langsung di base tuh. OP banget sih.
Chiefs will be coming out of their fountain as Baron should be on the menu. Just hold out for the rest of your team, boys.
That was the biggest gamble I think I have ever seen. Baiting the Baron. Yes, you've got Artikan, but if they get it stolen away, they're just going to commit. They're going to turn around and go for it.
Yeah,
information. I mean, yeah. Look, to be fair. It'll be a hard steal. There's no Grand Skyfall for 10 seconds, and they should be finishing it before that. Look, I rate it. Chiefs, they gambled big time. They came up big time, and they just looked to extend that out even further. This is what we've wanted to see from the Chiefs. Be audacious, be bold. You're in a situation where you are the hard underdog. Force the issue, make something happen.
And make something happen, they certainly did now as they will be ahead by about 3k gold at the beginning of this.
Oh iya, yang berdarah baru yang bukan GA.
Berdarahnya berapa nggak dikasih tahu ya?
Nggak dikasih tahu, cuman katanya hitungannya nggak cuman kill, damage juga.
Sort of split up fights and will be able to arcane shift and
not sure about the mystic shot onto the Baron after the fact. That could have made things a little bit harder, but look, not punished too heavily. They've got the Baron buff. They can now start charging down these lanes and really threatening. I mean, Team Secret, to be fair, I think they've made the right call here. That you want to pressure the top side, finish off that top inner, and from there look to maybe utilize it later on. But this is a hard march down the bot side that could result in the base being cracked, and I think it will likely. This is going to be bottom inhibs taken.
Yeah, Artikan is no longer available for the side of the Chiefs as Biopanther does go down the top side. We have a base race.
They could look to end this.
It's a base race, but one team has Baron. His toe is here to try and delay anything from happening. Lima's going to use that ult to get to the back, and we see teleports coming through. Chiefs, they are going to be pincered here. This is a very scary position to be. It's a 4v5. They don't have their top laner, but a lot of damage coming through here. Nice stun. They're able to get the turn. That's one down. It's a 4v4, but low health bars. Jimmy going in, but the flash away. Empress Divide will be going wide. Limas, he's trying to get away. The flash, the repel to follow. On the other side, though, the Chiefs, they're getting mopped up. There's nothing they can do, and it's going to be ace in favor of Team Secret Wales.
Oh boy, the Chiefs, there's an addiction.
Kejepit sih, jadinya kepisah.
Gamble, unfortunately, it doesn't pay out. I mean, look, Nexus is cracked. There is an inhib down on the bot side. I think, yeah, they do have their inhib still up. BioPanther just soaking everything, just drawing attention to the mid side. They just committed so much onto him, and as a result, they lose a lot. I think the team wipe of the Chiefs isn't going to be hugely detrimental. I don't think it offers Team Secret that much in the grand scheme, but the fact that there is, you know, obviously one Nexus tower cracked, there is room in the next few moments for some shenanigans, but obviously with the changes to towers, look, it may not be the sticking point that I think Chiefs want.
Yeah, so much damage coming through from Dire. I believe he landed a full combo on all 4 members of the Chiefs. Limas, I mean, yeah, just not able to provide the damage. Taki eventually will just repel on him.
900 gold to Taki there, the shutdown onto Limas.
Yeah, it is a support release, and like that 900 gold I don't think will matter all that much. I mean, in fact, it results in her getting the upgraded boots, which are kind of fake. You know, they're really nice when you're at the end of the game, and the only big difference maker you can have is having tier 3 boots. But for now, I don't rate those items as highly as perhaps you'd want. Dire on the back line, though. Can they find out about this Aurora finding the perfect opportunity for a massive ult, and Limas is going to deny it. This is the soul, though, and Histo does pick it up. This might just be the thing Team Secret Wales need to confirm themselves to win. A lot of damage coming through from Limas. As Dire finds a
menang
between
ini
wins,
ya,
it's
si
3v5.
Secret
Team Wales.
He goes on forward and does find one kill in response, but Luon
Nggak ada yang bisa dibunuh. Anjir, malah jadi kena.
Oh, ada road sih ini ya, si Alice ini ya.
Ada apa?
Ya, tadi udah menang padahal cuy.
There is definitely a gambling addiction coming out of the Chiefs. They've forced the issue too many times. Bio is desperately trying to hold on. There's a lot of damage being sown.
Tapi itu sih.
Ya, minionnya ada lagi, jir.
Enough damage coming out. Has he saved the base? I don't think so. Yeah,
9 seconds on Mir. 15.
Tinjau doang, nggak bisa harusnya.
I mean, Mir's up. The graphics a little bit dodgy. That should mean Jimmy's up very, very shortly here as Emperor's Divide. Mir trying to
KD-nya rada telat aja. UI.
Here comes Luon and here will come Jimmy in. Not long after, Limas will be back up. The Emperor's Divide is
Dua
pretty
agak telat sih.
decent. And no one is hitting the
Atau
next
Shinzo-nya aja kecepatan.
Chiefs, this throw after throw. It's a game of dodgeball, and it looks like maybe Team Secret Wales are going to win. Limas trying to get to the fountain, won't be able to do so. And just 2
Nggak peduli anjir.
as Team Secret Wales take game number 1.
Telepon di warna apa kagak ada dah. Mungkin terlalu bagus kalau untuk map kecil.
Are the Chiefs going to make calls like that ultimately cost them the game?
Jadi dimasukin ke
They
sepatu.
overcommit in pushing that bot lane, they get wiped. They overcommit in contesting the dragon, they get wiped.
Cooldownnya cepat, jadi kerjaan orang nanti itu doang ya. Clear, teleport. Clear, pulang teleport.
Blue side win and a great start to the series, but whatever brain fog,
Saling comeback.
panic, lizard brain set in, they just decided to throw every advantage they had
Bentar ya.
away. Gave the game to Secret.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it has to be said that Team Secret Wales, they had that deep ward in the bottom lane, right? And that is the only ward they had to teleport to be able to find a massive flank on the Chiefs as they did push down that bottom side. I think if we found that ward on the way up, you know, as Chiefs are pushing the lane, then this game looks a lot different. Ultimately, it was a valiant effort from both teams. Ultimately, you know, Chiefs, they started this game a little bit behind. They brought it back. They started looking very good. And Team Secret Wales kind of learning from Talon almost with how they were able to find that decisive team fight. And I think it's the pressure of, you know, you've spent this whole game sort of sacking the bot side to get the top side. You know, you've taken towers up top. They took towers down bot. They got the dragons. You got the Void Grubs and Rift Shield. But, well, you didn't even get the Rift Shield actually, but still, it kind of just resulted in, okay, now they're at 3 dragons. we have to contest this dragon. If we don't, they get the soul and the game just becomes near on impossible to win. It feels like they go for the contest. The smite was there for his toe, and at that stage, well, we're very far in here because we've committed to it, and they weren't able to find the team fight win, and unfortunately that kind of just spelled disaster for the game.
My big issue is they could have pulled off the Nexus. I mean, they didn't need to go for that Nexus tower. If they'd just gotten the inhib, they could have backed off. That would have given them control of the bot lane. They would have been able to dictate the tempo. And what you could have done is baited the fight at Dragon and then just bum rush the Nexus and won that way. Yeah, I mean, look, that was still a gamble, which has been their mode of operating today. But
yeah, I think ultimately
Makan-makan Kurs. Apa yang mau dimakan-makan?
Cleaning up from some of their mistakes that we saw earlier on the week, and they are very much
Makan buat apa?
right there before they're able to take this first win, and we'll see if they're able to do it after our break.
Ini Talon dari mana timnya? Taiwan. Lah, PSG udah nggak sama Talon lagi sekarang semua.
Dulu namanya PSG Talon ya?
Iya.
PSG emang gitu aja, nempel-nempel aja. Sekarang sama siapa deh? Sendirian kan?
Talon doang kalau sekarang. Oh, berarti hari ini lumayan lah, harusnya rame. Berdarah.
Eddie, kenapa Eddie? Terkenal kah Eddie? Gue kayak sering denger gitu.
Nggak tahu, gue malah nggak pernah denger dia. Eddie-nya beda Eddie ya. Eddie dari tempat lain ya. Ini timer kayaknya enak jidet ya anjir.
Apa?
Timernya kayaknya enak jidet, sekarang 7 menit. Kemarin 10, ada yang 5. Gue penasaran mereka nentuin timer tuh berdasarkan apa anjir.
Bukan untuk Asia Tenggara cuy, tapi untuk Asia keseluruhan. Metal PC di patch sekarang apa? Apa nih maksudnya meta sekarang apa nih?
Yang lagi kuat mah itu tank pastinya. Sisanya ya yang bunuh-bunuhan di awal. Sebenarnya gara-gara Fearless draft sekarang sih nggak ada meta pasti. Semua orang bikin gameplay sendiri baru gitu juga yang sesuai sama mereka.
Karena masih OP di kompetitif, semua regen install lock. Iya, scanner sih. Lama bet, cepet ini mah 7 menit ya. Work mah lebih lama lagi, ngomong banyak bacot, abis itu nambah lagi berapa menit. Ngomong banyak banget, belum casternya, belum analisnya, abis itu rehat, abis itu ngomong lagi. Bikin kopi dulu, Kur. Tidak ngopi. Halo Kiki. Info joki skripsi banyak itu mah di TikTok aja.
Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 on the horizon. It is going to be Chiefs selecting that blue side once again. I mean, honestly, they were very close to getting that one over the line. A few mistakes here and there, and unfortunately it turned around. But you can go back into this champ select and feel pretty okay with being on the blue side. I don't think draft really was an issue at all, really.
Execution, probably the biggest hurdle, I think, for the Chiefs. It definitely feels like there's a bit of a disjoint, whatever the case may be. Hopefully Poltron
Roll
sees
X
in the gap.
Nggak login Twitter gue di sini.
I mean, coming into game 2, I mean, Sion's no longer available, which was, I mean, instrumental in that game. So
Kalau Sarjana comeback cuy.
Lemus felt like he had moments where he was high impact, but he also had moments where it felt like he just was barely there.
Yeah, unfortunately, just kind of the story that we've seen so far from the Chiefs. And you know, one thing that we can say is in their last series against DFM, they looked a little bit disjointed in game 1, went into the break, came back and looked a lot better at the start of game 3 and definitely all of game 2. So hopefully the same thing can be replicated here.
Ideally, yeah. The draft is now a big concern for me. What do you bring? You've got a lot of that setup that's now obviously due to Fearless Draft gone. Azir would have been great in terms of setup, in terms of what we're seeing coming out.
Aku udah coba Miao. What the fuck?
Heroes out, Stella's in.
The first time we're seeing Stella.
Ini aja nih.
Has a chance here to prove himself.
Ada thumbnail MOBA paling gagal. Nah, di mana?
If he plays different champs to hero, if he plays much the same, just in a different style, or what this does to impact the team. You know, we see CFO do the same thing with their top laners pretty regularly.
I definitely think that favors Bio a little bit more because it is a bit more fresh matchup. At least Hero knew what he was sort of getting into in the head-to-head against him. So it's sort of a clean slate now. But
Mungkin obat batuk dulu deh.
just looking at what's available, what's being played historically, and there you go, the music kicks in. So we are moments away from figuring out what the game plan is going to be for the Chiefs.
Good to see a smile on Mayor's face. That guy, he's always smiling.
Look, I think justified that, you know, Mir had a great game. Honestly, all said and done, aside from that hiccup early on, where, you know, he died, for the most part, he did have a pretty solid game.
He created a lot of space on the Zinzao. I'd like to see Wukong. I think the champ is just very good. And we're not really seeing team compositions that you're like, oh, this is a horrible Wukong game here. One thing that should be mentioned, that Varus is no longer available, so the stocks on Ashe have gone up a considerable amount. So there's a good chance that we're just seeing MF and Ashe bans for the remainder of the series, be it just 1 or 2 games.
I mean, yeah, he's had a pretty diverse champion pool. He's played Caitlyn, Misfortune, Callista, Corki.
Yeah.
Corki banned, Skarner banned, so Corki taken away by the Chiefs, opting to try and remove that from Eddie. Nocturne and Skarner between these two teams are 100% ban rate, so no real surprises there.
Yeah. Probably the case between most teams, only a select few.
Yeah, they are the most banned champs in the comp, so.
Callista going to be removed, Ashe and Misfortune still available. Obviously the two that stick out to me the most. Oriana.
Another one that was picked up by Dai. They played that big, ball delivery system wombo combo with the Malphite in the top lane. Obviously, no Aurora would have been a pretty solid pick, I reckon, for Dai. He's pretty well rounded in terms of those control mages in the mid lane. Banaban going the way of Team Secrets. I mean, what do you target here? Viego in the jungle, so they are looking at sort of hamstring across the board.
Yeah, a couple jungler bans. There's some AD carries in there. Corki a mid laner, if you want to call it that, or an AD carry. Misfortune looks like it will be Lemus's pick of choice, so no longer will he have only unique champs played.
Yeah, something doubled up finally. I think you're probably looking towards an Alistar down in that bot lane now. To big beefy front line, a little bit of CC.
Di mana nih?
Options, yeah,
Ini kayaknya Taiwan sama Vietnam lagi kan?
Bukan. Aussie, Oceania sama Vietnam.
Oceania itu yang CHF.
Iya, CHF yang Oceania.
Now, here in 2025, Jace wants to be in his hammer form more often than not, so a little bit of a change from before.
Now we start to see the evolution of Chiefs draft.
It
is going to be the Rel head in, so yeah, one of those beefy frontline, heavy CC supports that we're seeing so much of at
Pakai terus ya si ini Miss
So
Fortune.
it does mean that there is a lot of sticking
Iya.
on this bot side.
Soalnya pilihan ADC sekarang udah tinggal dikit kan.
Early advantages.
Dia cuman kayak buat bantu ngedamage pas lagi sisi chatnya nyala, ya udah dia pencet ulti aja.
This time it will be Mir who gets to show his skill.
Another new champ for him. So he's now up to 6 different picks. The only double up he had was the Zinzao. Tristana which we have seen already played in this
Di
league.
Sana mid
paling
ya.
Yeah. Can be
Iya,
the
harusnya
most
di mid.
likely mid. Ash just completely fallen off a cliff in this series at least.
Snubs, Alistar banned out. Tristan Alistar, such a terrifying combo. Cassante taken away from Bio as well. So they clearly put the
Casternya
full
nguap.
priority on him and they want to enable
Kan di
Stellar
mereka
in his
ini
debut match.
jam berapa ini?
Yeah. I would kind of like to see the Ornn out of Bio, I think. I mean, and Bessa would be the
Gue
champion
masih
I
gak
want
tahu
to see.
dia
We
di
haven't
mana sih tempatnya
really seen
main.
any effort
LCP
for the side of Chiefs to
Tex.
look for that champ. You know, it's been open multiple times. A lot of other teams, SoftBank especially, see that champ and immediately will just pick it up. DFM as well, Ray Faki really liking it, as well as a bunch of others. But so far, at least, no priority over here for the Chiefs. We'll see if they ban it. Victor was that ban towards
Nggak tahu
Jimmy, but no, they go
lokasi
for
itu di
another
mana, cuy.
one of these engaged supports. So Nautilus taken away for Taki.
Poor Jimmy and hit with a drive
Yang satu
by
lagi namanya
drive
siapa?
up
Black
in.
Panda ya nama
For a
casternya.
team secret there. Target out in the Victor.
Blue, kok
I
nggak
mean,
Blue
Team
kah?
Secret still
Atau
have that ability to flex as Tristana, so they, I mean, could look to try and pivot that one away. But yeah,
Oh
there
iya,
you go.
Blue Panda.
Tristana mid, Ash picked up, and this is a hefty poke comp. I mean, there is going to be a lot of
Ah, nggak
punish
bisa dicek aja
if
lah.
Chiefs can't hard stick onto the secret roster.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing they are lacking a lot of is AP damage, because Nidalee, I'm just going to say
Kenapa
it
malah
sucks
ini?
as the solo AP champ unless you're like Canyon. You have to exactly be the best Nidalee player in the world for that thing to be a solid poke champ or a solid solo AP champ. Especially now that we are steering down the barrel of that Ornn that I did mention, because this guy can now just stack armor. Nidalee is never, ever, ever, ever going to be threatening this guy. And so a bunch of armor items to come through for Lemus here, and all of a sudden you are going, sorry, not for Lemus, rather for Biopanther, and you're going to be struggling to deal with what the Chiefs are showing. Hui as well. You talk about poke comps. While Hui not the greatest of poke, he has very long range and also has a fantastic wave clear. So can even contest for that mid lane priority. Has to be careful, of course. The engage we're seeing so far is an Ash Arrow. Does have to be careful of that. He won't be able to take cleanse. And
Wih, ada
if he does get
Hui.
caught by that, almost certainly will be going
Ada
down.
The
Ornn.
big problem I'm seeing out of the secret roster is they really only have one.
Baru sekali nih keluar
proper
Hui
form of
dari kemarin gue
crowd
nonton.
control. And that Brom pairing is going to offer a little bit more. You've got the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Jace, it's not really CC, it's a knockback, so it's more of a deterrent than anything, a bit of follow-up damage. The Brom paired with the Ash in the bot line,
Duh,
the Freljord
Untuk yang
duo,
kanan
means that they've got a little bit more sticking
masih
power,
oke
but
juga sih.
this is a roster that is looking less to fight.
Nggak bisa
more
engage
just
doang,
chip
tapi yang
away
kanan.
at Chiefs and then collapse on them when they're, you know, in their death roll.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Bangkula
I
mau
think
nggak
the
masuk ke
early
karung?
game
What the
for
fuck?
side of Team Secret Wales, if they
Kasih
aren't
support mana
ahead by a
main.
lot at the early stage of
Enggaknya
this game,
si
it should
MM.
heavily favor
Dari
the
kemarin
side
nggak
of
ada sih yang main MM
Ultimately,
support.
You've got this Nidalee champ. Nidalee is
Tuh, udah
arguably the
jelek
strongest
soal.
jungler in the game up until like, you know, the 15-minute mark. And
Udah
then after
lewat.
that, you're very reliant on landing the spears, which aren't that easy to land. As well as the bot lane, you have the Ash, which does scale in terms of the utility as you go further on into the game, but in terms of the damage, will start to lose out pretty heftily to the Misfortune. So a lot of emphasis here on the early stage of the game for the time of Team Secret
Itu
Wales,
mousepadnya
and
kayak
the
kaku
later
aja
it
itu.
goes, the
Keluar
stronger
meja
I think
tetap
it
aja
gets, the
berdiri
stronger the
mouse.
side of Chiefs
Apa
gets,
lurus
and
gitu.
it starts to get easier and easier for them.
I mean, this is a heavy snowball comp from Team Secret. If they want to win, they have to win early.
Kayaknya emang
They
tapi
can't
nggak
be
tahu
affording
sih.
to let this go to the late game. They can't let Bio start evolving those
Tuh,
items
kenapa
and
keyboard
just
ping
pick up
semua
the
begitu,
uses that
anjir?
Ornn does.
Kompak
I
banget
think
ya.
the lack of reliable lockdown for Team Secret is
Ini
going to punish
lol,
them so
iya.
very, very heavily. They don't
Halo,
have
Jeddah.
they're not going to have a huge amount of kill pressure until they start death balling.
Yeah.
And the best chance Team Secret will have
Apa
to find
Jeddah?
those openings is reactionary.
For sure. Now on the roof for game number 2 here, Chiefs are
Us.
trailing. It's Team Secret Wales who took game number 1, and it was a close
Sama
fought
gini
battle,
pada
but
di atas.
ultimately, neither team really getting a massive lead against one another. But certainly the
Duh.
confidence for the Chiefs should be a little bit shook
Ribut
in
gini.
feel. Hopefully Poltron able to sort of calm them down, get them back to where they were at the
Kalau
start of
main
the series,
MMSP
and look to
kasihan
win
player
this game.
ADC-nya.
Doran's Blades
Abis,
start
oh iya
there
bener
for
juga
Stella.
sih.
Still
Abis
grass,
poolnya
so
anjir.
we'll likely transition
Makin gak main ntar aja begitu
Okay.
udah beres game
Definitely
ketiga.
opt into a slightly more poke-oriented, more damage output build. To pair, you know, with the rest of the comp that Team
Panardi
Secret
bisa
are
yelling
gonna
nonstop
be
kayak
looking
Tuki nggak?
to
Bisa
throw
dia.
utility abilities down range
Enggak,
and
gue mah soft
hit what
spoken.
they can.
So Team Secret Wales put the wards down and they wanted to spot out where this bot lane of Chiefs are going. But the Chiefs
Andre
just
tuh.
sprinted straight into the bush up on the top
Kalau
side.
udah ngoceh sekalinya nggak berhenti.
Kalau beli tiket LNY itu bakal hangus gak kalau udah lewat tenggat waktunya atau enggak ditentuin sampai kita beli tokennya. Emang kapan tenggat waktunya? Lama nggak sih? Harusnya hilang kalau tenggat waktunya habis ya hilang. Lagian kan LNY dia diskonnya juga seminggu pertama dong, minggu kedua udah harga mahal deh.
So pretty decent start for the Chiefs, I imagine. You don't want to be laning as Rel Misfortune into the Braum Ash. Braum pretty much single-handedly shutting down both your champs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't commit to an engage because you're going to be punished by the passive. Plus, Ash doesn't take much to really ramp up in terms of damage output.
Ash is ridiculous in the early game. Just having a slow with the lethal tempo. If you get caught out of a position, just 1 second, an auto attack comes onto you, Braum follows up, and you are just completely dead. Good by Mir though as well. You have to commend them. Obviously, both junglers ended up starting on opposite sides of the map anyway, so it will just be a regular clear essentially, despite the lane swap.
Gleason clearnya banyak banget ya ternyata.
Could be okay for Mir, but Braum is there. Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Iya. Anjing ketahuan gara AC bangsat AC katanya. Dia juga.
Oh. Ian.
And the passive goes on to this Lee Sin. He's not really got any way out of there. The ward was already used for vision.
Habis semua tuh, udah jangkau atas.
First blood does go over. Histo picks it up and early lead there for the Nidalee.
Berarti gue nggak bisa beli dong, gue baru beli weekly biru. Weekly biru kan seminggu. Masih bisa lah harusnya. Kan rilis skinnya tanggal 28. Lu seminggu, diskonnya seminggu pertama. Masih ada sisa 2 hari nggak sih sebelum dia berubah harganya?
Mir at least does secure himself a crab, but he still will be behind on
Tas.
XP as Histo gets off to
Bisa kena tuh. Hitboxnya nggak jelas nih.
J diganggu terus, mampus J.
Ini Dali udah main senak jidat begini ya. Oh.
Bang bahas set 3.5. Males gue bahas set revival gitu cuy, bukan ngerang juga. Nying. Dapat lagi satu.
Ada beda 400 tuh cuma digituin doang ya.
Level 16 onwards, the better things are going to be. Quick back from Jimmy and picks himself up. Better extra AP and
Oke, makasih Kor. Gue tadi top up di Kurohiko, mantap.
Play by Jimmy and find that good bit of harass. Just looking to push his wave in now and get some priority in the mid lane for his team. Maybe even try and find timing to help out Mir, who is kind of being left to the wolves really. As he takes that exact jungle camp.
Lane swap back in, so it is going to be Ash top.
Ajam ikut turni dia, bukan anjir. Mungkin ikut turni buat ngeganti duit cuy.
His toe is going to be a real problem point for Chiefs if he can keep being well stuck into harassing Mir and getting this jungle. Mir's going to really struggle, and I think Mir is integral to how this comp plays out for the Chiefs. He's going to be the one getting in for those flanks, looking for the backline jumps, and Bio, I mean, he's healthy enough, he should be fine.
Yeah, I don't think either one of these two are killing each other really, barring some egregious misplay by Panther now getting to that level 6. Hold up, Jimmy getting very low, the Spiraling Despair does come out, the flash away, the Buster Shot not going to be able to find the damage, Ty's just walking along.
Mati sama minion kah?
Oh. Not many times in League of Legends history have you seen a flash misfortune.
Itu tes pakai 3 mm 2 anjir.
But Lemus, by God, he'll make it happen.
potential collapse here. Taki going to be on the front line, and Lemus and Luon, they just walk around. They're going to take some punishment here from Eddie.
Cleanse does come out. He's able to sidestep on that Winter's Bite. But Lemus, he's taking these auto attacks. Eddie might just have the damage. No. The safety of the tower is there. And Lemus, he loses both his sums. It's going to cost the Void Grubs. But all things said and done, at least he got the kill. He got some gold and some pressure off Jimmy. And what a narrow escape.
That's an egregious level difference. Eddie, 2 levels up on Lemus there for a moment. Had the ult, and it will give space to his toe to take those Void Grubs. They are rapidly working their way towards getting those feats of strength online. But yeah, look, I do rate the reaction. And this is the problem we saw
Ini
earlier
mah
in the weekend.
match kalah-kalah mekanik lagi ini kayaknya.
Meant the fight didn't go their way. That is just everything. The potion ticket away. This time he's there with the rest of the team.
Nggak bisa just MM aja.
All 30 damage that it probably did, as I doubt it's more than a level 1E. Make it rain. But it's enough.
I don't think I've ever seen a AD Misfortune E with a flash to set it up actually get a kill. I remember there was a time when Misfortune support was a thing and it was full AP, and that Make It Rain actually did a ridiculous amount of damage.
Oh, happy times. Back in the good old days when you could have fun. But
that was not fun. That was the opposite of fun.
It was if you were me and playing AP Misfortune support. Yeah, looking for something down on the bot side. The big problem, I mean, there aren't ults online. Luan is going to clear that, and they shouldn't know that Mir's here. But the problem is, do they have the sticking power to get this kill?
Gonna look for it. The knockout will be there. It's a 3v3 at best for the side. Oh, well, for both sides, really. Lemus, though, he still doesn't have ultimate available to him. They're trying to find the damage. Luan trying to peel. In will come his toe. Mir will land.
Mampus lo anjing udah. Lu ganggu gue tadi.
Puas lucunya tuh.
Level 6 still not there for Lemus. They managed to get him a second kill despite the egregious level difference. Still Chiefs finding some, and Jimmy and gonna get some nice damage off onto Dyer as well in this mid lane. Things going okay here. Early game for Chiefs, even in terms of that gold. But still, considering where it started, is the wall will be blocking Dyer from getting dragged on into their path.
Good, we are getting the replay. That was so clutch. So Mir comes into this lane gank level 5. So they go try and come in onto Taki, but unfortunately it's a Brom. He's going to be able to jump out. He gets caught, in trouble, stunned up twice. He hits 6 right there, and that is everything that he needs. Goes in, Dragon.
Dia dapat ulti gara-gara nge-smite ke Neon anjir.
That is timing at its finest.
Oh, belum level 5 tadi di sini.
Tadi 5 ya.
As you saw him just use it there. In comes the on-horn. Maybe they don't even need it. A lot of CC, just enough. That guy did not move for the past calendar month. It's going to be Stella going down, getting the classic top lane treatment. Welcome to the LCP, buddy. You are getting dove.
Yeah, unfortunately. And yeah, it's good. Mir has now started to come online. He's got himself some successful ganks under the belt, and that's going to do bits for his confidence given how things started this game and last game as well.
Maghrib Pur. Selama tahun akhirnya Warp kasih sanksi ke permap hack. Udah sering gak sih?
Terakhir sih banyak yang nggak dianggap ya. Pas season kemarin tuh bener-bener kayak map hack semua. Main terang-terangan Muenga tuh kayak lepas aja gitu.
Waduh.
Anjir.
Mati gak sih Maminian? Enggak aja.
Enggak.
Lemus not able to find the last auto attack. By God, what a close fight.
Yeah. Not every day that you see a 1v1 AD carry fight go that way between an Ashe and a Misfortune. I don't know quite why Lemus is looking to man fight.
Tapi kayaknya emang report Fabris sekarang baru diurusin lagi sih. Season kemarin gue nge-report yang toxic aja nggak pernah ada itu apa, report feedback gitu kan biasanya ada tuh surat tuh. Season kemarin nggak ada sama sekali ya. Kemarin baru ada lagi tuh gue nyobain nge-report orang.
But still, it's a massive CS lead. It's a level lead. And I mean, you kind of have to say confidence lead, right? You gotta be a lot more confident now. If you are Eddie pulling off that 1v1, then as Lemus, who got given all those kills and unfortunately goes down.
Yeah, unfortunately, and Chiefs gonna look to move past it.
Ini mah Jason mana murni atau?
The Void Grubs Taki heading round the pit to try and
lah mobil penet gitu, full penet gitu kan.
every
Gak
single member
tahu.
of Chiefs in vicinity. You've got by their top side.
Itemnya nyampur
Down. It will be a bit
apa
of a
sih
head shake,
komponen
Team
semua,
Secret
nggak
hand
ada
them
yang
over.
jelas mau jadi apa anjir.
And off the back of that, Bio says, look, okay, you guys take that. Lemus, take the top side. Contest this bot lane duo. I'm going down to deal with Jace.
Yeah, Ornhorn coming through. Flash away from Stella. By Panther forcing away that summoner. Very good trade for himself.
Oh, boy.
The fight will be
Putih di level 6 bang. Iya lupa aja.
Lemus is just getting completely mogged. Down he will go, and Eddie finds himself another now. 2 kills for himself on the Ash. As Misfortune, who picked up so much gold early, is truly suffering. Oh, here we go.
Wah,
It's so close. Let's look how quick this flash is to get out of the bullet time.
anjir.
It was a lot faster in real time.
Yeah.
But even there, I mean, it's like you gotta react in inhumane speeds. The only way Lemus wins that by the end of it is flashing that volley. If he flashes the volley somehow, keep in mind it would literally have to be a prediction. You couldn't react in that time as a human. He would have won.
Yeah, but then he hits top side and dies.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to call a spade stupidly. Like, he knew that they were top side because it had been spotted out by Bio. That's why Bio teleported bot lane. So why are you walking up as a solo AD carry without any support and just giving over a kill like that?
Baru di announce di Twitter resmi wing rip. Oh baru di announce lagi.
Yeah, potentially. Hopefully able to be
Bisa
okay,
nggak
though.
sih
He
LoL
is
PC
still
kamera
gonna be
red team
relatively
di
strong. He
flip
puts out
nggak
that
bisa.
blockbuster is gonna be really
Nggak
Emang
nice
susah
against the
sih.
likes of the Nidalee and the Jace. Even
Mobile
though it was a
PC
tank
nggak ada
base,
yang
the base
bisa ya.
is certainly there for this champion. As 3 people now, Murah once again coming to join his bot lane. More importantly,
Tapi harusnya emang bisa di flip
you've
gitu sih.
seen these two, you know, junglers
Kayaknya mungkin
fall
agak
together
kurang adil gitu nggak sih
pretty
kalau
much all
satu
game.
dari kanan atas aja.
Actually, 4 people up here. They're looking to get themselves a tower, but Eddie might just win the race. Should be 2
Nggak tahu
demolished
sih ya,
bombs,
gue
which
nggak rasa dari dulu
maybe is
main
enough to
soalnya
turn it.
gitu nggak masalah.
Not sure what the bottom tower is looking like, but feats of strength is on the cards for both teams. It is going to be the first tower secured. Dragons the trade. Ash Arrow coming through.
Tep. Kena anjir.
So sad to see. Jimmy's just dead. There's nothing he can
Sampai
really do
besok
here.
di stun lagi anjir.
It will be a really, really nice snipe by Eddie. That
Pas banget lagi stun ininya Braumil.
mid laner for Chiefs to unfortunately be taken out.
And it was. Well, I say.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
This could just be
Dia
another
sih
tower.
nggak baik.
They're going to be able to wall jump out of the tower and make sure he's completely fine. Jimmy and with teleport can come and try and defend whichever lane gets pushed down, but that's the second tower. So Chiefs, they're still being proactive and they find themselves only 500 gold down. Once again, though, the problem with this is the only reason they're not down further is because Biopanthers are a lot of gold up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just unfortunate situation upon unfortunate situation playing out here as we do just cross the 14-minute mark, and 8 deaths, I don't think quite again hits that threshold, but Eddie having a great game so far. And yeah, look, that definitely has felt close enough to justify this, but Team Secret still just holding on.
Yeah. Ultimately, both teams probably feeling okay about the position of the game. It is Team Secret Wales now that are one singular objective off picking up those feet. If they are able to secure a dragon, are able to secure the Void Grubs, they will be able to get that upgraded boots. And Chiefs, they're just deathballing. I kind of like it. Lead these 280 carries to 1v1. Hopefully nothing too drastic happens, and Lemus is able to just get some farm and get some levels in his back pocket. But so far, what we've seen, you know, all series long, all split long for the Chiefs, is when Biopanther's there to join his team, things go a lot better. That was a Bromel.
Yeah, it was. Bio, well gone. He's headed up to the top side. That's 11 for him as well.
Yeah, 2 levels off his own upgraded item, 3 levels off starting to be able to upgrade his teammates. So getting there for sure. I believe the Orn bug would be disabled in competitive, and I do believe it's also been removed from live game now.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I mean, at this stage, Chiefs, I think, have weathered the storm of this Team Secret comp for the most part. I think in outright team fights, Chiefs, positioning-wise, they should be sitting pretty comfortable, but unfortunately that hasn't really happened.
Bromnya
You can see
langsung
Team Secret
randuin
have not
gitu.
been willing to take these outright team fights. They've been shying away from them, understandably so. But where Team Secret has found those openings is careless positioning, players off on their own, and One spectacular downtown enchanted crystal arrow from halfway across the map to headshot Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not easy to land those. Jimmy unfortunately did cop one to the chin. I don't know if he had flash up or not, but either way, he would have either lost his flash or died. And you can make the argument that dying is actually better in a situation like that, because if an actual meaningful team fight breaks out and you don't have your flashes away, things can go pretty pear-shaped pretty quickly.
Aman Wingrip udah ngeband jir 17.200. Tipos banget kan mereka rilisnya.
Tapi emang season kemarin sih gue juga main males ya. Rank game ke atas tuh udah pasti ada map hack ya.
Parah banget anjir. Biasanya Vietnam gak sih apa?
Sekarang bahkan orang Indo juga kemarin banyak. Yang orang Indo tuh terang-terangan map hack ya. Kayak lu gak ada warga ada apa datang polos nge-invade ya bodoh gitu. Ngambilin camp segala gitu. Kalau yang Vietnam biasa mikir, pura-pura kayak nggak tahu, padahal tahu. Kalau yang itu udah bodoh nyelonong aja datang.
Yeah, I mean at this stage, this is very much Chiefs' game to lose. They have everything that they need going into the later stages of the game. They've got the team fight. But, I mean, they had that in last game, and we saw how that ended, so...
Yeah. As you say, this is still anyone's game. Team Secret Wales are probably pretty happy with where they are. They will admittedly...
Aslinya hull breaker.
...than the side of Chiefs. We said it at the start of the game, right? This Nidalee champ. Very, very potent early on. I don't think they found enough. They found their first blood, and that's been literally the only thing we've really seen out of this Nidalee. It's been Chiefs controlling the pace of the game as Chiefs will be charging that Rift Shield into the mid tower. Looks like they will pick it up. That's going to be the Glacial Fissure also used for Taki, and not going to find anything all that important on the back end of it.
I mean, Stella opting into a build that takes objectives. Oh, it's not Stella, rather. Eddie opts into a build that takes objectives rather quickly with the Hellbreaker. So, I mean, you can see that their priority is now starting to whittle away these towers. Big gold injection into Dire. But he's about to be collapsed. So teleport's going to be used.
So they're going to get him. Just able to cancel that one out, and he's got nowhere to go. In fact, he had one way maybe he could run. Obviously, the slow is going to be there. He's never going to get out, but does send Murah that way. They do get the kill. It was flash used from both Jimmy and Murah to secure it, but it is a 4v5 now, as this will be the feat online for Team Secret Wales. I think committing a little bit too much there for the Tristana leads them to not being able to contest this objective, and now the boots should be online.
Ini tim mana? Oceania lawan apa tadi? Vietnam.
Inferno Soul. And I mean, if Team Secret pick this up, the game just begins to suck for Chiefs with this poke comp that we're seeing. It's just.
Gue masih nggak ngerti, tapi itu S-nya bikin hull breaker buat apa anjir?
When given that opportunity. I think from here on out, Chiefs are going to look to start initiating the fight because they need to. If they take too long from this point, they just.
Itu Ace punya hull breaker.
I think ultimately they can, right? They have the one.
Lah ya juga ya. Dia mau Vtuber apa gimana anjir?
Nggak tahu. Dari tadi tapi dia nggak bisa juga.
The second dragon being at 20 minutes is a very good thing for the Chiefs, because while yes they are down 2-0, it's going to take to at least 30 minutes until a soul can come through, and by then Ornn items are going to be well and truly online, as you see him upgrade now with Sunfire Cape, as well as you're just going to have the power, the tankiness that Braun provides, the damage through from Misfortune, her auto attacks, her ults, and Jimmy in as well here on the way, who does have a CFs online and is looking to get himself a Leandries.
I think realistically, if Mia can do a decent enough job of getting onto Eddie and hitting him with the Dragon's Kick back into the Chiefs, that fight is largely over, because you kind of need Eddie in the back line with that Kraken Slayer to just shred through anyone there. Dire has the escape for the most part. The rest of the team has an escape. Eddie is the one that does not.
Yeah. It is going to be crucial for Eddie to be positioning well. He has the entire series. He has the entire year, or split so far, as this will never result in anything. You saw neither health bar moving any significant amount. Maybe if this was a full AD Jace, there would have been a bit more damage both ways.
Buff atakan itu cuman kayak dari Asan doang kah?
Clustering top side.
Ya, tapi satu lagi ya. Dia oke ada 2 buffnya, ada 2 jenis.
He's gone in.
Yeah,
Bisa juga
Flash,
dapat yang
he lost
ngebuff
the
epic
Braum.
monster.
Now, not the most meaningful of abilities of Braum Flash, but it does mean there's no real angle for
Ini MOBA
the
kah bang?
likes of Flash
FPS.
Facial Fissure, right, which can be great as a follow-up more so than an engage.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an aggressive tool to be utilized now. It is going to have to be reactionary. Teleport's coming back in towards Artikan.
Asal berker kayaknya biar pas
Yeah, just making sure
kayak
keep
solid dari
pressure
tim dia
around
nggak
the
tipis-tipis
top
amat.
side of this jungle is
Jaraknya lumayan
I
jauh
think
sih.
Chiefs are now starting to feel like, yeah, we're strong enough to truly be able to contest this. Of course, you would like to see one more level on Biopanther, so you can look to upgrade, be it a misfortune item or possibly a Hui item. I think I'd prefer to see Hui, maybe.
Yeah, I think it just at this stage the item offers a little bit more, especially given that look
Sampai sekarang sih belum ada value ya Hullbreaker-nya.
Carry misfortune, you looking to auto attack bullet time isn't going to do as much, so you got a kit reliant Jimmy and
Dari tadi Braum nempel terus. Atau enggak ada aja temen
It's
itu.
easier as well for Jimmy to do damage.
Mukul terus 3 bulan dah.
You know, in theory, if everyone's standing still and not doing anything, Lemus will do more with it because every auto attack will have the additional AD. He won't be able to just sit there and do that the whole time. Without some fantastic, play by them, I suppose. There is a theoretical where he could, but the realistic situation isn't the same.
I think we are slowly getting to that point where it's cheerful ward kill. There's just been a lot of battling back and forth over vision priority. First Inferno Drake is just over a minute away. Artikan's been sitting here. Baron's a little bit further away, about 30 seconds further than the Inferno. And they are going to look to start it up. The wards will spot it. And you can see
Itu apa setan merah? Itu atakan.
Yeah, but as soon as they come out of this bush, it is
Ini harusnya dapat revive nih.
trinket there, placed down by the side of Chiefs to be able to find that out. Teleport now coming through for Stella. As the Artikan is being burnt down, is down to half HP, and maybe it's going to be Team Secret Wales that looks to now try and turn and burn onto this objective. First, taking out this topside tower, not the most impactful objective in the game, of course.
Rusuh banget atakan tuh.
Eddie coming to join his team at long last. He is all alone there, and
Oh,
if somehow
akhirnya
Chiefs can
nih.
find an angle onto him, it's going to be pretty
Kasih
damn good.
Hullbreaker.
Lemus looking for the make it rain,
Nggak
will
jadi.
connect. Still pretty tanky with that Hullbreaker, not going to feel the pain all that much here on the Ash.
Lost Navy nggak lipid dah. Nah nggak tahu juga katanya di minggu mau lap sih.
Of course not. That many resources being expended. Lemus has the Bloodthirster, Mir with inbuilt Omni Vamp, and Jimmy with a blue buff.
Oops, anjir.
Jimmy. Okay, so team fight theoretically now favors the side of Chiefs as long as Jimmy doesn't find himself in a terrible position. There is no Ash ult now available. Mir and the rest of Chiefs are
sakit.
burning down.
Braum
This
bonyok.
is the vast majority of his health. Check Luon though, the flash rail engage is
Oh,
there.
oh anjir.
Find it, but it's not the best. It lands onto
Flex
Stella.
langsung.
The bullet time's okay. It's doing damage on the back end. Out will go
Terus
dive.
sananya
It's
keluar.
down to 3k. It's doing a lot of damage to Mir though.
Anjir tapi kalah.
Ya kalah dia nih.
Down, and now forward will Team Wolves
Wow,
go.
dapet
Bus.
tapi atakannya anjir.
Gets the smite. He
Ke-steal.
gets the withdraw, and the Chiefs' day is saved.
Keren banget.
Kena snipe.
Oh my god, they get the kill on Jace, they get the Artikan, they get the snipe. It looked like an absolute embarrassment, but boy oh boy, it's Australia Day and the true blue Aussies come up trumps.
Now, I will be critical where it is justified. Biopanther had a
Stream dari sana emang burik ya?
target.
Iya emang agak burik sih, sama kan restream lagi jadi kurang lagi.
We'll go through it. Okay, so they started up. Jimmy and beautiful flash there gets away from the.
Padahal tadi gue liat udah bonyok loh merah anjir, kenapa masih
Iya,
kalah ya?
Stella, his toe top side.
Tuh Braum udah bonyok.
Decent damage on
Di atas juga kena
Iya sih, tapi
ulti.
gak ada yang kena itu. On sama
On
MN.
kena sih yang kiri dong, cuman
Iya,
ya
bukan
gitu doang
bukan
aja.
komen target tuh. Malah jadi itu. Malah jadi gak penting aja. Oh itu gara-gara pada kena atakan juga aja yang biru. Jadi bodoh. Damn.
Kenanya.
Batman Park getting on in there.
Lagi buka shop itu pasti ya.
Secure Chiefs.
Kena meteor nih.
Saved the day for Chiefs, I think. If that Artican goes down, and he doesn't find the J skill. Those two things happening meant Baron could not be taken. Because if Mir doesn't get that steal, he probably gets killed. That's the jungler gone. That's Artican buff on the side of Team Secret Wales, who ultimately all were pretty healthy still, excluding their support. I think Baron truly could have been the objective that gets looked for and honestly possibly secured. However, Mir does save the day. He doesn't have withdraw. The rest of the team are going to be sporting that, and they are going to be sporting some damage here towards the Baron. 6k HP. Histo once again maybe looking for a steal, trying to retaliate to what Mir was able to do, and Shadow Crystal Arrow does go wide. Here comes down a bunch of pathways. Glacial Fissure lands only onto Luon, who once again he's getting low, but he does have the withdraw. Bipanther trying to keep this Baron aggroed up, but they're going to have to let it go as low health bars are coming through. Bipanther misses on a knockup, but he's going forward. He is going to have that train blocked by Taki. Thank God for him, as Bipanther now looking to just commit his life. He's going to withdraw. Once again, he does have the teleport. Dire, he is in a dire position. Flash is going to have to be committed. No one going down on the side of Team Secret Wales. The Artican buff now lost. Sonic Wave won't connect, and it's going to be Team Secret Wales managing to withstand the pressure.
They did get a teleport and a couple of flashes out, only for the withdrawal. So I mean, not clean, but at least Chiefs find advantage in that if they want to force the issue once again. But the big problem that we've seen consistently out of the Chiefs is they overstay, when realistically, if they pulled that trigger a little bit earlier, it probably would have been a more successful fight for them. They probably could have mopped things up. So, look, they weather. That's the main thing there. They're all still alive.
Rasanya dibiarin Pok dapat banyak bet.
They've taken that first and
Til Brown bisa nangkis ram on tuh. Bisa kan punya dia.
Yeah. Chiefs feeling okay. I mean, both teams are ultimately in a good spot. It's still Team Secret Wales that have the control over, or the lead, I suppose, in terms of that Dragon score. Yes, they do, scale down, and then they don't scale nearly as hard as the team with an Ornn. But this Tristana will continue to do damage throughout the game. Is very strong, up 2k on Jimmian, who's looking to build himself a Void Staff. And so, really, it's about how much damage can Dire do. Can Eddie, well, I guess, can Taki save Eddie from going down? Because it feels less on Eddie to be able to do that and more on his team to be able to peel for him.
Yeah, I reckon at this stage in the game, Chiefs, Mir gets a good pick onto someone if they can isolate a target, the Dragon Kick combo into the rest
Persen
of the
on
team.
kecil banget
There's
aja.
just no way that I think Team Secret can then turn and fight. They need every single element of this roster. And you can see Chiefs feel like they have the priority of this topside jungle. They're going to walk in and start clearing away these wards. Yeah. Jimmy in there in the backside, they're going to look to start up the Baron once again, no doubt in my mind. There is a they have at least a bailout, but again, this Ashe does hit reasonably hard with those volleys.
Yeah. Taki. Aggressively up the lane, not going to be able to find anything. Second upgrade now is available for whoever he chooses to give it to. It was the Bloodthirst upgrade first of all, but now he gets to choose. I think he hasn't done it simply because he wants to give it to Jimmy, but hasn't really found a
Breakernya keren core 444. Yoi.
Solo laner. Panther going to be jumped on, but again, like,
Jangan nih dibunuh nih.
like nothing happens.
Kan on sama Jason ini mah udah.
Kids circling each other in the schoolyard. I want to go. You know what? You're not worth it. Stella just walks away.
Yeah, I think Panther actually ends up winning because he got a grass proc. And if there are any fellow tank top enjoyers, the most important thing in the game is you're midway through the lane phase, you hover over each grass, who has procced it more is actually winning that lane, despite kills, the towers, whatever. Grass procs are very important. Panther's going to secure himself a tower. Going aggressively here onto Stella too. And Panther is a tank that does do damage.
Yeah, Ornn very much hitting like a freight train.
Yeah, wrong skin. You actually, good point you bring up there.
Yeah.
The choo-choo train Ornn is possibly one of the best skins in the game. It is competing with IG, Kaiser, and Camille.
Let us put this discussion to rest because nothing beats Gentleman Cho'Gath. There will never be a more peak skin than Gentleman Cho'Gath. And well, look, yeah, right now, Void Staff coming out for Jimmy, and he's suddenly hitting a lot harder on these champions that don't even have a heck of a lot of MR, and might as well not. Luan might be looking to pull a trigger here, though.
Yeah, finding a lot of damage on Taki. He's able to get himself over the wall and scream out, stand behind Braum, but still, I mean, this Baron is the big objective, right? It's very hard to end a game without the Baron. Bot lane has been pushed out by Biopanther enough, but we see Dye getting there. If Chiefs want to do something, they have to pull the trigger pretty quick, force out that teleport, and then they can go back to, you know, saving the lane states. Damage now coming into the Baron. You see Chiefs starting it up. Lemus is going to be able to get there without being hit around the skull by a spear.
Choke points are key, especially with the Brom and the Ornn in play.
Buka tas yang kena malah Ornn. Dapat deh. Ayo terus sana belum ikut fight nih.
Salah kena lagi.
From above, and now it's
langganan kena tuh bro.
They lose the Baron. They should be able to pick up this dragon, but Chiefs, they now have 3 minutes to try and get this one across the line.
Just saying.
1 jam lagi nih, paling 40-an ini.
You know, roaming through the top side. You see it. So he loops around while all of this is going on. He does not actually take part in this fight at all. He's in the red buff right now. I said, yeah, he flashes into the red buff wall, but luckily, Mia is an absolute demon. Secures Baron. They get massive damage out to this way. Luan finally gets involved and sniped.
That was so much damage.
Si ini ada skill yang jaraknya jauh banget ya si Wei ya.
Ada ya.
Kayak sejauh skill 2-nya Swain gitu.
Swain. Oh, enggak lebih dekat dikit. Oh. Archangel.
Yeah. Oh, Histo. They still want it. They want to force this issue and justifiably slow.
Oh, my God, please leave. Just leave.
Dikit banget anjir.
We're going to get out. Jimmy puts down a...
No, Lemus.
Oh,
Keep going.
This is so
iya diganggu semua. Ketinggalan 1.
Si anjir maksa banget. Lu kan bisa lihat.
Itu temennya kan semua pada sedetik sedetik semua recall. Ayo udah gue juga bisa deh.
Iri dia nih.
Bagian dia mati kasihan.
Lisin moja tuh Kor. Real. Oh hilang anjir.
Tapi ini yang punya Baron yang kiri aja. Mereka yang nge-push.
Bawah juga di-push.
Kelihatan tuh Dali.
Lemus eventually does deal with the bot wave and recalls can start to come out now for the side of Chiefs as Mare returns to the map 2.5 minutes.
Karena bikin Liandri kali, nggak berasa damage-nya anjir.
I'm sorry, but yeah, Mia got baited out. He just watched the
biasa sih lumayan kerasa.
Narrowly avoid being stopped, and he thinks, I can do it too.
Apa gara-gara? Oh,
no, he could not.
Dia juga on artifact ya. Kayaknya realnya yang lebih tebal gara-gara artifact on.
But they lose bottom, you know, inhib tower, and now suddenly there is an avenue for.
Ornnya level berapa aja? Oh, udah 17.
Itu udah merah semua tuh satu timnya. Wah,
Jeng perico. Bye.
Oh, ini sih udah kuat banget.
He will respawn before the dragon does come back up, but 4v5 for at least the next 40 seconds.
That was a Ralph Wiggums moment if I've ever seen one. Just Zonya's surrounded by the entirety of the Chiefs, and they will look to capitalize on it further. They get the inner. Oh, Chiefs, please no. We've been punished before.
Chana Cristero comes through onto Jimmy in the bullet time there to try and dissuade any forward movement here onto that middle lane.
Maksa. Jadi teleport.
Wah anjir. Itu Hui skill yang jauhnya dapat pelulu anjir.
Pimindo nggak ada.
Jimmy and his snipe Taki out from range 3 times now. It sucks being a support sometimes. I'll tell you that. But this time the Chiefs only make the right call. Yeah, look, I don't know what the justification was for being so aggressive in this situation.
Lemus's ult here is key though, because this goes a lot worse if there wasn't, this massive cone of damage coming down. Jimmy will, as you see, get that snipe as well to trade back. Everyone will be back up on the map now though, as Sum's pretty much all up. Only really missing Biopanther teleport, so as long as he's with the team and Jimmy's the one answering any potential side lane pressure, they should be completely fine to contest this Dragon in 30 seconds. That will be the Infernal Soul possibility for Team Secret Wales.
The big issue I see is Chiefs need wards down at Baron.
Yep.
Because this Ashe shreds objectives to the point where if Chiefs don't, they do commit to taking this dragon and then Lemus, buddy, and then dawdle at all, Team Secret could take that Baron away, and there is just no vision whatsoever.
One thing I have to say,
I mean, the timing works in Chiefs' favor, but still,
being an Oceanic resident, it never can be made easy, can it? Luon, he's looking for a flank here. He has his flash. Hopefully, he doesn't end up headbutting a wall. They're going to give over the dragon. I think wise decision. The setup wasn't there for them. Chiefs will at least delay their possibility for another 5 minutes. The jump away, rocket jump.
Ini selama nih kayaknya anjir lah, satu baron lagi, kayak belum end juga.
Doing a great job at pressuring.
Tergantung sih.
1 and 2. Only death was off the back of a miracle snipe from Eddie.
Soul sih harusnya yang bikin beres.
Iya.
3 seconds out, Taki. Is there limited? The vision is now an issue for Chiefs because it is so limited. Lemus is again still playing a little bit further forward than I think he should be, but he hasn't been dunked on for it yet.
Yeah, Baron. It's time again. Objective will respawn. A lot of damage. This Baron gets taken out nearly immediately by either team. We're seeing Chiefs feel like and look like the stronger team. It is late game. That's going to be clear. It's going down, but Luon, he falls
Enak banget tuh. Osilnya on tak kemana? Baron tak kemana anjir?
Bisa mati. Tapi masih 3 damage sih. Wajar. Wah.
Anjing.
Meletus gini. Kalau kena lagi,
lama
udah mati.
Aduh, untung gak kena tuh.
Tipis lagi. Ayo lo, tebak-tebakan.
Anjing.
Gak mati.
Pakai teleport bangke. Tapi dia tahu nggak sih kalau si itu tadi teleport nggak kena?
Enggak.
For the first time this game, Taki has not been able to deny the call of the Forge. Look, he goes to jump.
Oh, dia mau ngilangin itu telat juga. Braumnya. Mau ngilang ulti Braum, terus salah arah juga, shieldnya ke belakang, terus nggak ada gunanya. Ini sakit banget sih waynya. Iya nih. AC itu jual aja nggak sih? AC ganti apa namanya?
Breaker gue masih jutaan.
Sikal yang ada magic defense itu tuh. Iya, kalau nggak zonnya.
Mau atau Withstand?
Bukan mau, yang attack speed magic defense.
Oh iya, Withstand berarti.
Ya, Withstand. Apa ya bikin item itu ya? Apa itu itemnya juga item AD kan? AD, darah,
Back ya, AD, darah.
sama defense. Oops. Aduh, kepisah.
Crouch
Nggak kena.
multinya Braumnya. Udah dong, kalah.
Anjing, kena
Harusnya
AC-nya.
kalah.
AC. Di sana kepisah.
I mean, this is like throwback to the Chiefs of old when they were the league team in Oast. They just dominated everything from start to finish, and we are seeing that quintessential Chiefs coming back. They make the right call here, in my opinion. Don't force the issue, overextend. They've been there before. Do go for the sure thing here, which is get that Baron up, Make sure that when you push those waves, they stay pushed. And it was just a lot, just on the precipice, on a knife's edge. They wanted to isolate Eddie because they know how integral he's been. Glacial Fissure off the mark. They realize that Taki's too spread. Boom. Eddie in the iron sights, just mowed down. Stella tries to get in, but Lemus just takes too much. Mir gets clearance, and they chase down and run him over. Chiefs, whatever happened between game 1 and 2, they are starting to lock it down.
Jimmy teleporting in, not going to land with the snare, but a lot of damage certainly coming through. Yes, and another jump for Dyer gets him clear
Udah
of
nggak bisa
any
kalah
more
yang biru.
damage, but it's Taki who pays the ultimate price. Jimmy, he is low, and Seraph's on cooldown. Now the only defense he has is the Zhonya's, and he is so much of the damage. One mistake here for Jimmy and could just delay this game even further. But if he plays it well enough, if the Chiefs are able to do it, this could just be the end of the game. Call of the Forge God does go wide. I've seen it go past the windows, but it is at least going to be the inhibitor going down. Jimmy's getting very far up, but will be able to get out of dodge from the spear. The chase not going to be there for Team Secret Wales as they are just down their support, but ultimately that's another inhib found. It's still Chiefs in the driving seat. They're still looking to put the nail in the coffin here of game number 2.
And that was all the setup they needed to go for this Infernal, push themselves to Soul Point as well. I mean, there is a very real possibility here, Vest, that we do see Elder Drake come into play.
Yep. Yeah, that would be 10 more minutes, and we'll start to make a claim at possibly that 59-minute mark with the longest game of the split in any region. But a ways to go till that. It is difficult.
It's also 3 Infernos for Chiefs.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
That is a lot of hurt coming Team Secret's way, who are struggling to just keep their heads above water.
Absolutely. Biopanther going to be able to clear out this mid-wave. Baron buff still going to be wielded by the side of the Chiefs as you see Lima slow pushing this, trying to build up a second minion wave. They have one more minion wave that can come in until they're going to lose this Baron buff.
Kill jauhnya kayak Swain kak. Iya, cuman gak sejauh Swain.
Dan pure damage kalau yang Koi. Kalau Swain kan kayak nge-slow, nge-stack ya. Yang ini bener-bener pure damage.
Anjir, dipotong sama Braum dari sini.
Wah,
bisa
menang
nggak sih
aja ini yang kanan. Bisa ya. Itu value shield Braumnya bagus
banget anjing. Anjing sakit banget, cuk.
Wah, ke comeback.
Lah, kata gua mah.
Lah, gak jadi. 40 detik, tapi gak ada wave sih.
Gak bisa juga sih dia.
Gak bisa ngayon. Cuman anjir.
Agreed. I think the one saving grace is that bot lane pressuring in. The 25 seconds to on.
Masa comeback? Belum tentu sih, ini belum comeback sih ini.
Belum comeback. Cuman satu
kali lagi mungkin.
Bisa deh. TB-in dia bisa di TB-in bisa. 9 cuman satu rel. Harus di TB-in lagi nih creepnya. Oh, di stun. Oh anjing pinter. Udah kayak Enzo.
Anjing. No, patek. Wah, bangsat, cuk. Nangit, jir.
Anjir. Salahnya jelek banget.
Like they didn't have to commit to the fight in the base. Yes, they were strong, but it was completely unnecessary. You force it. All you have to do is clear that tower. Then you go play the rest of the map, wait for that Baron to come back up again, wait for Soul to come back up again. I don't know what's going on that Chiefs feel like they need to force the issue here.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, ultimately, I also think it was just a misplayed fight. We got the Ornhorn, it got blocked, that's fine. We've seen that happen, they still win the fight. But we committed everything on to the Braum and the Ashe. But the only people that were able to hit them were the Ornn and the Rel. Ashe flashes away, completely untouched. Jimmy and as well as Lemus can't just walk into the base.
War terakhirnya, iya jir lah.
These two tanks were just left there. Only the damage remains. Rolled over. Reset came through.
Agak sedih sih.
And it was just a disaster. It looked like Chiefs had done
Iya,
absolutely
iya,
everything they
kiri
needed to
shoot
win, but
udah
unfortunately just
pengen
fell
nangis
flat
itu
to
ngeliat kayak gitu
I mean,
aja
the
katanya.
saying goes, roll
Tadi
ball,
game
and
pertama
there's a
juga
word-
gitu kan ya?
word that I can't say on broadcast, but it's
Game
definitely
pertama
what
mah
it
enggak
felt
lebih ke
like. So,
bantai. Emang ke bantai
it's-
dikit dari early-nya
it's
juga.
just, how
Kalau
many
ini baru
times
tuh.
Chiefs do this before someone stops them
Kur
and says,
sapa gue
"Hey,
viewer
we've
baru,
got
welcome
something."
Bayu.
It is unfortunate. I think obviously this was the best looking series. This is the best performance they've had so far in terms of actually being able to play out of that early game. They're not just getting rolled over immediately, but now it's about closing it out, right? That is the story. They both games they were in a position where okay, Chiefs has got this. All they got to do is finish this pretty naturally. Unfortunately, one fight in the Nexus or in the base of Team Secret Wales in both games just spells complete disaster. And this one more quickly realized just because of the length of those respawn timers. It was honestly, it's heartbreaking, especially I think for Murah, who almost single-handedly
Played out
saved
of
the
his
game.
mind.
Just saved the game at that Ardakan play. Jimmy and who, I mean, you're seeing the damage numbers here, and all of it meaningful. Sometimes you look at Quay and it's like, okay, this damage is a little bit
Wah
fake.
terakhir
He's
emang
sitting on a
clutchnya di
tank.
ulti on, gak
All
boleh
of the
ketahan
damage
sama
that you
Braum.
saw from Jimmy in this game, almost all
Tadi
of it
ketahan
Masalahnya
sih.
itu tadi ulti Braumnya gak cuma nahan skill 3 Braumnya gak cuma nahan ulti on, nahan ulti MF juga anjir. Mahal banget tuh.
Oh iya benar juga.
Dua-duanya ketahan jadi itu. Oh my god.
Gara-gara onnya dari bawah, MF-nya dari
I
atas.
don't know why we're hedging bets on, the win condition being the last 10 seconds of a Baron buff. Like, the other objectives coming, you had Inferno Soul coming up, you'd already had 3 Infernos. That likely would have been the tipping point to push it over the edge. You had a Baron not too far off either. A refreshed Baron likely would have made that a very, very hard hold. And yes, it likely would have taken another 5 to 6 minutes for them to close the game, but they would have closed the game for sure.
Yeah, it is a unfortunate position that the Chiefs did find themselves in, but unfortunately, if you are an O's faithful, and this Australia Day will not provide you with Chiefs' first series. After the break, though, we are going to have our second series of the day. It's going to be another exciting one, DFM versus TLN. See you there.
Makanya Braum di ban mulu. Sih kan ada on juga jadi enak juga di. Ulti on dilangkas sama Braum. Iya. Tapi kalau nggak salah harus ulti yang pas awal ya, belum yang kedua ya.
Yang kedua juga bisa. Cuman kalau yang kedua
Oh, bisa
Braumnya terbang.
Pofu apaan anjir.
Bos, Spotify lu mau?
Jadi iklannya Valorant. Cinta nih rakyat nih kalau iklannya Valorant.
Di back hilang dia data gua guys. Oke, RAM-nya kita satu dulu teman-teman. RAM-nya satu dulu. Kalau go back hilang nggak deh? Oh enggak hilang kalau di back.
Oh kapan Kur? Nanti. Yuhup.
Apa kita bikin low spec dulu guys? Nah donate. Oh, streaming dulu ya, kita streaming dulu ya, kita numpang streaming dulu ya. Kita numpang streaming dulu bentar guys ya, numpang streaming dulu ya. Ya, kita streaming dulu ya. Udah, mana webcamnya bro? Internet quality error. Ada apa nih?
Iya pan.
Kualitas gua guys.
Anjir stream yang nonton 1000.
Kucing. $500 the hell. Oh, internet gua menurun kemampuannya teman-teman.
Menunggu Kurohiko dibahas di X. Apa yang mau dibahas cuy?
Kenapa nih guys? Oh fast webnya habis ya. Aduh harus berlangganan fast web guys. Wah kita langganan dulu ya. Wah internetnya aktif dong. Udah aman kok. Kenapa Indio? PG ketuker enggak udah aman. Aman, sabar dulu. Wah, gitu lagi.
Bang nonton Deza Editor. Lagi live juga emang.
PC or console? Flipping on a PC gaming dong. Ini kok badanku masuk, guys? Aduh, gue gak sabar mau setup di ruangan atas, guys. Kok gak bisa turbonya?
Dia dapat donate deh.
Wah, let's go Bitogo is here and
Anjir dapat $1000.
Bitogo. 2400 ya, masih kurang jauh sih teman-teman.
Kali donate $10 anjir. Ada kripto juga.
Ntar gue mundurin. Ntar gue mundurin sekarang deh ya.
Gue jadi Nobar Bang Indah.
Mundurin sekarang lah.
Rehat aja berapa menit? 15 menit kayak tadi.
11 menit lagi.
Nah beda ya. Bitcoin bisa dinyalain gak dari sini? Coba Bitcoin nyalain dari sini bisa gak?
Anjir bisa mining juga.
Tetap bisa loh. Bisa guys. Nah ini baru layak streaming ya. Nah, layak streaming, cakep banget coy ini. Ini karyawan kita masih di sini guys. Karyawan kita bakal gawe di sini ya. Karyawan kita bakal gawe di situ. Ah, siapa nih karyawannya? Pertanyaannya siapa nih guys? Aduh, belum terlalu membantu sih teman-teman ya. 50.000 subscriber, let's go. Siapa nih karyawan pertama kita nih yang jadi full-timer di kita siapa guys? Tapi gue butuh 9.000 coy buat nyetep komputer gue yang di atas. Gue butuh 9.000 guys. Epic banget permainannya coy, game ini epic banget guys. Gue gak sabar gue mau
Oh,
2
game
karyawan
Jepang.
coy. Aduh guys.
Ini Bang Winda kena goreng mulu di X sama FD.
Sulwi duit bro.
Rame cuy kalau kena
Apakah
goreng
kita
mah.
harus melakukan perjanjian dengan iblis guys? Guys, haruskah kita melakukan perjanjian dengan iblis bro?
Kayaknya siapapun kalau udah kena blunder mah digoreng aja nggak sih? Apalagi yang udah gede.
좀 빠르더라고요 친구가 한번 말해주면 그거
아,
기억해서
친구야,
시도해보고
나도.
성장할 수 있는 친구라고 생각이 들어서 개인적으로 좋아하는 선수입니다.
自分は結構連戦などを一人で大抵集団戦で活躍
gue
す
mau
ると
coba
いう
deh, itu faktor nge-crash itu di rumah ini apa? Rumah sebelumnya apa rumah ini juga ya?
プレイスタイルはもっと一人
Ngehe,
で
ganggu aja lu bodoh.
攻撃的な
Bodoh anjing, ganggu banget itu cok.
変を見て
Coba gue mau ngetes guys.
と思います
관모는 이번 처음 들었는데
Wah,
계속
ngaruh
이제
juga,
한국에만
guys,
있다가
guys.
이제 해외로 오는 것도 처음이고
Rupanya
배우면서
itu ngaruh di semua
많이
rumah
말하려고
guys.
노력하는 스타일이고
그럼 제가 원래부터 좀 주도적인 선수였고 하자고 하는 성향이 좀 강해서 인게임에서는
Oh, ngaruh juga rupanya. Ngaruh cok.
Ada play Hoka malam ini enggak.
Ini ada yang nanya nih cara downloadnya gimana nih, cara downloadnya nih buat kalian silakan klik link yang ada di ini ya, di
Live endorse
deskripsi.
aja.
Kamu udah taruh di deskripsi nggak bang?
Ada?
Tuh antara deskripsi Bang Dwi atau deskripsi aku ya, ada tuh linknya tuh, silakan ya. Oh ini ada yang ngasih UID nih, bentar aku add nih.
Nonton Vtuber YouTuber kecil mana ada Ji. Gede itu dia.
Terangin dikit sebentar. Kalau
Ji terang banget.
oh enggak.
Red Dead Redemption.
And dismount. Dismount tuh apa guys? Wah lah diseret. Bener gak ini yang aku lakuin bener harus kita seret kan guys?
Sebagus apa sih Red Dead Redemption guys?
Bring him back kan? Guys masalahnya aku tuh gak tahu arah. Bener kah guys?
Cici Surabaya kayak ini.
Iya kan? Disuruh bring him back to me katanya. Tunggu, bener nggak tapi ini arahnya ini? Agak.
Cing orang digituin Jo.
Aduh. Stop kuda, stop. Aduh, kudanya nggak mau berhenti nih, kuda woi. Nah, aku nggak tahu
Anjing.
kita harus kemana ini. Skip. Tunggu dulu.
Kalau suka main GTA biasanya suka RDR. Gue sukanya main GTA kalau ada temen nih. Wih main Sekiro. Shadow Die Twice.
Seru Sekiro Kur. Cobain.
Jurusan mana dibanding Elden Ring?
Sekiro jauh.
Anjir.
Kalau Elden tuh biasanya lu bisa kayak ngidein build. Kalau Sekiro pure skill ya.
Siapa coba di sini yang gak tahu sama game yang bernama Losaga? Zaman-zaman dimana kalian memainkan game ini bareng teman-teman warnet kalian atau bahkan abang-abangan kalian di warnet. Pada zaman itu, game ini sangat populer. Bahkan, menurut saya kepopulerannya hampir setara dengan game legendaris yang bernama Point Blank. Sampai-sampai pada tahun 2012-an, di warnet itu antara bocahnya main PP atau main Losaga. Lalu kemanakah game Losaga ini pergi?
Jadi lagu chill ini.
Apa itu game Losaga yang akan kita bahas kali ini. Jadi, Losaga adalah game 3D brawler MMO yang dimana kalian harus mengeliminasi musuh kalian sampai mencapai target modenya. Karena di game Losaga ini banyak sekali mode yang ditawarkan oleh IO Entertainment selaku developer Losaga.
Kau pernah main Losaga, Kur?
Salah satu mode yang saya minati saat masih bermain
Gue
Losaga
pernah
ini
sampai pangkat apa gue? Mayor 2 kalau nggak salah.
yang dimana kalian bisa memilih antara kubu Legend ataupun Order. Di dalam Faction War ini juga terdapat dua mode yang berbeda. Yang pertama itu adalah Faction War-nya, yang dimana kalian melawan tim versus tim. Sedangkan Ladder Battle-nya,
kalau main ladder gue sampai mana doang ya? Conqueror apa ya, lupa deh.
Dan di dalam Ladder Battle
8.000
ini,
apa?
Losaga memberikan tiap titelnya sampai 8 titel yang berbeda-beda. Atau sekarang mungkin lebih dikenal dengan MMR. Titel tersebut diantaranya ada Train, Challenger, Fighter, Conqueror.
Ya gue kayaknya sampai Conqueror doang nih.
Gimana itu ya nyebutnya? Ntar.
I've been yearning for this moment.
Conquer, ya itu. Lalu rival, duelist, gladiator, dan paling tertingginya yaitu Battle Master. Karena hal inilah banyak sekali player yang ingin menggapai titel tertingginya yaitu Battle Master. Bahkan nih, sampai-sampai mereka memakai cara apapun untuk menggapai hal tersebut dan menggunakan program ilegal yaitu cheat code. Ngomongin soal cheat, ada satu cheat yang sampai sekarang saya trauma akan hal itu. Sampai-sampai saya dulu takut untuk bermain mode ladder karena saat itu
iya aja dulu cheater banget anjing, ketemu cheater kalah terus turun poinnya
dan
jancok.
memakai skill AD-nya Grim Reaper yang bisa membawa musuhnya terbang ke ujung angkasa. Balik ke pertanyaan, Losaga ini sebenarnya
favorit gua.
Jadi, Losaga rilis di Indonesia
Dulu
pada
How
bulan
I.
Maret 2011
Habis
yang
itu
lalu,
gue suka spam
sampai Juni
cyborg.
tahun 2020,
Kalau hero
yang
input gue suka
dipublish
Kyo
oleh
Kusanagi.
publisher ternama Indonesia saat itu yang bernama Game School. Ya, Losaga itu satu naungan dengan game Point Blank. Pada tahun
Gue pernah dulu
2020,
ketemu.
Losaga resmi tutup servernya sampai para player di Losaga mengabadikan.
Gue dulu pernah ketemu orang di war gitu, bacot banget anjir. Gue screenshot, gue laporin ke forum Game School, dia kena ban anjir. Kena ban seminggu apa 2 minggu gitu.
Game School nih, sebenarnya dahulu
Habis
ada
itu pas
sedikit
ketemu
beberapa
nextnya
event
lagi gue
turnamen
bacotin,
offline
mampus
Losaga
lu kena
ini
ban.
yang bernama
Misi setahun lu
LSNC
kereset kan anjing gue
2014.
gituin.
Waktu itu para penonton LSNC 2014 ini sepertinya tidak tertib dan tidak mengikuti aturan panitianya. Sampai-sampai diusir langsung oleh panitia LSNC-nya sendiri.
Oke, sorry mohon maaf kita cut sebentar. Sorry banget. Dari keputusan panitia dan emang sudah keputusannya, LSNC dihentikan. Silakan keluar. Keluar. LSNC dihentikan. Kalau kalian mau menyalakan, salahkan. Ya, stop. Sorry, LSNC dihentikan. Silakan keluar. Keluar.
Isinya bocil-bocil anjing, nggak ada otak. GM apa gitu dulu dihujat sama orang-orang aja.
Oleh Game School ini, Losaga diambil alih oleh Gravity Gambling, tepatnya pada tanggal 23 September 2020 yang lalu. Dan di Losaga Remastered ini, UI-nya benar-benar berubah. Bahkan, nama hero Taoist diganti jadi Guan Yu. Sayangnya, versi Remastered ini tidak bertahan lama, karena servernya tutup pada tanggal 6 Juli 2021.
Ya setahun doang.
Ya, cuman setahun. Tapi sebenarnya penutupan Losaga Remastered ini tidak sepenuhnya benar, karena kalian bisa migrasi ID kalian ke versi Losaga selanjutnya yang bernama Losaga Origin, yang sekarang dipegang oleh Vivan Launcher. Kalau begitu, tanpa basa-basi, let's go to the gameplay.
Oke, akhirnya di gameplay dan lihat ininya sepi banget anjay. Yang Fable cuma
Kenapa turnamen S cuma 1 kali nggak ada lanjutannya? Banyak anjing, nggak cuma 1 kali.
Oke, jadi gue bakal jelasin dulu di sini tuh ada banyak mode
Hero
ya.
favorit
Gua
gue
cuma
HGD.
jelasin mode faction war
HGD gue
doang.
kurang suka
Ada
dulu, tapi
berapa
semenjak di
modenya?
DFM gue suka sih. Bukan dari FM, di
21
upgrade
mode
gitu.
yang berbeda-beda. Dan di sini
Hero
yang
Tawa
paling
Warrior,
gua
anjir,
best
hero
banget di
cacat
deathmatch.
anjing.
Dan ya dari dulu juga kayak gitu.
Hero pemula,
Oke,
Tao,
kita
Berserker
cobain
sama
langsung aja.
Iron Knight.
Diamond semua coy, gue bebek. Kok pada diem ya? Ada yang diem? Oh, melek. Gila.
Ini dia emang playernya anjir, mayor pangkatnya anjing. Oh, ini gue suka dulu Arcanis nih. Gue bisa combo Infinity Arcanis dulu.
Ya gila.
Masih ada nggak ya video gue? Apa dulu nih gue alay banget karena gue beli akun orang anjir. Clover aja dulu Explore Saga. Oh iya anjir, baru tahu tuh gue. Udah mulai belum sih? Belum ya?
Belum.
The way of off rolls so far in this 1v1 format, but Ray getting a champion that he plays very frequently could be a bit embarrassing if he's
Oh ini nih, akun gue jual aja.
Who's to say? I mean, Betty had so many options available to him.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately Darius,
he's just very, very strong. Yeah,
and he's also not the most difficult champion.
Bandicam anjing.
Pretty straightforward kit in general, and Betty a very, very talented player. I'm sure.
Yeah, again, same matchup as we had earlier in our first 1v1, Mbessa versus Darius.
Yeah,
So.
and Darius just kind of slapped. Did seem exceedingly one-sided, just as champions, really.
Yeah, to be fair, we did find the road to success for Darius.
Gimana gue upload dulu combo Infinity Saga gue? Gue kira lu lagi dengerin Style Hardcore, nggak taunya lagi YouTube musik anjir. Lah by one lagi nih.
Set selection biasa.
Lu pernah nyoba box karakter level 100 gak? Nggak pernah gue.
The intricacies of standing in the bush.
Assassin Darius, I rate it. Just waiting.
Siapa sih Darius?
Look at the
Darius sama Bisa.
He's breaking ankles already.
Once again proving that AD carries are the best players in League of Legends.
First, blood drawn technically, but not the first.
Oh ini tuh yang, oh iya ini yang God King Darius tapi di invert warnanya. Yang Darius jadi putih Garen, yang Garen jadi hitam ya.
There was just an all-in, Darius would win it. Not going to be.
Absolutely. I think Darius pretty much every stage of this game wins an outright 1v1. I think onus is on Ray.
Duel Noxus.
Damage set up. Probably look at public execution in the face.
Yeah, I mean, slower than our last one. I think Jimmy and already having picked up first blood here, but Rayfaki is just playing a lot more safe.
I think it probably speaks more to familiarity with the champ being played and their role. Ray looking very much confident in this Mbessa.
Yeah, but now there's going to be Betty going for that all-in. Still does have a lot of damage coming back towards him though, and ultimately trade goes fairly evenly.
He was also grasp Mbessa that last matchup as well. So this one a little bit.
Yang satu-satu gini tuh kapten timnya kah? Kayak bebas aja deh.
Gonna get that shrine though and have a significant health advantage in picking up that ruby crystal as well. So Ray, I mean realistically your best bet's probably back in here or looking for a playoff for the 6.
Yeah, I mean out of the two champs getting 6, I'd be more scared as the Mbessa than happy.
Especially with the health disparity now. Like I mean, that's a significant health advantage to Betty.
Oh, misses the cannon. Those things are worth 200 gold in this mode. genuinely is essentially an objective, you know. You see there 167 gold that Betty's now just going to be up because he was able to get it. And that's not to mention the rest of the 12 minions.
Talon lagi WS ini. Talon apa? Valorant.
Does get the apprehend, a lot of damage, but bone plating there, so Rayfaki going to be able to dodge out most of that, especially with the shielding that came through.
I mean, Ray's really not in the worst spot. He is chipping away at that health. Betty, though, taking that shrine away, is going to make it a bit rough.
Nice trade.
Betty is limit testing right now. He definitely understands where he should and shouldn't be standing. Doesn't walk into the tower. The public execution would likely have been a death sentence there if Betty had been caught within tower range. So, definitely just skirting.
Both summoners now up for both of these top laners. Top lane champions, shall I say.
Well, mid lane.
Pada beli item planet ya itu. Itu pedang item planet lah nih.
Enggak, pedang Doran tuh starting item di PC loh. Doran sword, Doran ring, Doran shield.
Item AD doang itu.
Item AD. Nambah AD, nambah darah, sama kalau dia last hit minion tuh ada itu, ada healing dikit.
Ironic given the name of Investor's Ultimate.
Yeah, actually true.
Oh, there we go, Betty.
Yeah, this could be bad. Betty not going to land the stacks from his queue, but I mean, look at that. It's just hopeless. It really is. He didn't need to get to the 5 stacks. He could have executed earlier probably, but does. Now he's going to get tower plates as well. Probably just get 2 and call it a day.
He's also well gapped, Ray, in the CS department.
Yeah, no, this 1v1 is essentially over. We can start talking about the weather and the thunderstorms we're having here in Auckland.
Auckland with an O, by the way. Yeah, that's what New Zealand is really like. They're just roaming the countryside. We've got to be careful. Look after our hobbits, make sure they don't get absconded with. Another plate down, but Ray getting gold where he can. Oh, full black cleaver. It's still
Suara bam lab ya, iya Nardi.
Yeah, and almost in the clips, but almost is not really worth a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, it's
this is going to hurt.
1.6k.
And he's rapidly coming up on level 11 as well. Come on, just, Ray. Don't stand still. Dive. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge an axe.
This is going to be pretty hard for him to dodge this axe.
I got to commend him. He's like, no, there's still a chance, eh? I reckon I can do this.
Yeah, I'm less sold.
I mean, look, there is a world where, sudden death comes into play, and maybe, just maybe, he can do something shenanigan-wise. I mean, Darius isn't incredibly mobile. Doesn't need to be when you hit like that.
That was through a shield. This time doesn't need to be through a shield.
Yeah, it's level 2 ultimate, by the way.
He is genuine. I mean, if he ulted that, it might have been a kill. I guess barrier, probably not.
Do it.
Tinggal deathnya sih. Oh. Sudden death.
Nah, sudden death.
Wants to back, so
Adanya berarti dia ada map yang kecil juga.
Iya.
Maksudnya.
Harusnya tuh nanti makin lama udah ke tengah ada buletan. Terus yang mati next ya udah kalah langsung. Tapi ini mah lingkarannya nggak dikasih lihat ya? Apa nggak ada?
Does he get the gold? Yes, he does. I mean, it may not matter. Yeah, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, Betty's just not going to back.
Ray can't now. He's lost that window, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like...
What a cinematic shot in the bottom right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like... Yeah, it is.
Nah, itu tuh lingkarannya udah.
The honorable thumbs up.
Oh. Anjir ngambil.
Okay, man.
Like Betty needs more health at this stage. And yeah, this is just like you got to commit at this stage. Maybe he survives a little bit longer. He holds on and dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, look that.
Menang dari Is.
We knew exactly how it was going. It was just the slow bleed play from Ray, just buying himself some more time.
Counter Darius siapa bang? Siapa counternya?
Yang bisa kiting aja keluar masuk.
Fiora.
Soalnya, Fiora bisa.
Semua hero-nya di counter Fiora coy.
Sama Jax juga sebenarnya bisa.
Itu buat minum
kan
penuh banget tuh air aja nggak jatuh itu bangke.
The big difference is, of course, there was one top lane versus mid lane matchup that was Darius and the mid lane won. But other than that, it's been pretty much like, okay.
Jax soalnya susah itu Darius kalau mau 5 stack ada dodge.
And the other guy's got Darius without a jungler, so I'm taking the Darius every time. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's won pretty much every time so far.
Kali juga bisa sih.
Nah, Kali ya bisa.
He's got an execute, he's got the bleed. It just there is no way to avoid. He's got armor pen built into his kit for goodness sake.
Pantheon emang
Pantheon
kalau dia lagi nge-shield tetap nge-stack kan?
Tetap nge-stack. Cuman kalau lu shieldnya buat nge-counter ulti ya mungkin bisa.
He's got the resets to help him in team fights and summoners rift, but in general, he's known as a lane bully. That's why he takes ghosts and sprints at you level 1. Here, I mean, there's no way you can really run away from him when that circle starts closing, and Ray Faki quickly found that out, and unfortunately, you will lose, and it's going to be Talon rather, with the side selection almost certain to take blue.
Well, I mean, it seems that Darius and Draven are the ultimate like 1v1 champions at the moment. They both sort of thrive in that 1v1, and
Garen.
Called it, and it has happened. You manifested it.
That's right. I always do. It was blue side selected by the side of Talon. I think.
Portal Hawk nggak? Hari ini enggak kayaknya.
No one particularly surprised.
No.
Just looking around, everyone seemed pretty stoic and unfazed by that. I think the side of DFM, however, probably are going to be a bit phased.
I think it's Talon. They need to like redeem, because blue side is 0-2 right now on the day. So I think Talon are here to prove that actually blue side's pretty solid in the grand scheme.
Yeah, be interesting to see how this one goes. You know, Arya's coming off the back of a generational performance. All 3 games.
Ngebahas pemain LoL kecewa sama Riot, skin gratis makin sedikit. Dan di WR lumayan banyak. Ya di PC eventnya banyak cuy. Ngarep banget gratis sih. Turni ada terus.
Nggak, tapi yang PC sekarang event in gamenya lagi rada tai sih. Battle Pass yang sekarang itu kan, Battle Pass tuh dibikin jadi makin susah dapat skin gratis sekarang itu kan. Yang hashtag chest-nya udah dihilangin, sistem hashtag chest itu udah dihilangin soalnya.
Event-event yang dapat op gitu nggak ada lagi ya?
Op masih, cuman jadi kayak apa ya? Lo minimal harus beli Battle Pass dulu. Kalau lu nggak beli Battle Pass tuh dapatnya dikit banget, terus grinding Battle Pass-nya lama lagi.
And have to somehow find a way back in that game, which admittedly they did.
Lagi banyak yang komplain soal rework Battle Pass tuh.
When you look towards them, right? Like if we're expecting this team to win out of the split, you don't want your team that's winning the split to have gone down 11k in the regular season and have to fight back for that, because you go over international, you know, you're against some of the big names, you know, T1, whoever ends up winning LCK, LPL, whatever. If you're down 11k, you're not coming back.
No. But I suppose that mental fortitude, the resilience.
Wih, ada yang jualan pasar ular di toko gue cuy. Lumayan dapat 300, 400.
If you can fight back domestically in that situation, it makes it easier to fight back from closer.
Oh, tapi dibatasi sehari 500.
It just preps you to look for those opportunities to exploit weakness. And yeah, I think this is sort of Talon giving themselves the full run, the full gambit here in the competition. They played well from behind, they played well from ahead. I don't realistically see this one going to a third game, if I'm being honest. But if it does, it is likely off the back of Arya having a standout performance.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think ultimately what we've seen so far out of the split, Talon, they seem pretty solid. If they do go down, I believe Arya is a player capable of getting that one across the line. You know, like if he's on his Aurora in the same position that we saw Dyer in, I think that he's probably going to find the impact he needs from that sort of advantage to be able to get it across the line. But I also think that Talon will recognize that and be less willing to make what is the word? Just crazy plays or ambitious
They're
plays.
Not reckless, yeah. They're not one to gamble like we see out of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's going to be consistent. It's going to be macro, derived. That's how they're going to approach the game.
Sure.
That's how they've won their game so far. It's how they brought that game back against Secret. It was about dominating the macro, and showing insane adaptability mid game. They even respond mid draft by bringing that Jin in against Team Secret, and just slowing down, using it as a utility setup, and then that backline threat that he can be. And then, of course, Fofo out of the mid lane is just this absolute weapon. So, look, realistically, DFM, if they do pull this out, it will likely be the biggest upset of the year.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think ultimately, though, when I look at this matchup, generally, for Talon now that they have Fofo in that mid lane, you're probably thinking, okay, Fofo is probably going to be that sort of driving force behind their success.
Hello, welcome.
Because they're going up against Arya. Fofo, yes, he's very good. Arya is very good himself. I think where I see the most success coming from will be Betty, because Betty himself is probably, for my money, the best AD carry we have in the league. You can make arguments for the Shogun over on Vikings, but I think Betty is performing. He is historically a player that performs, and I do think we haven't really seen enough out of Milan and Kakun for me to have faith in their abilities to lane up against someone like Betty.
Kurohiko bulan depan beneran Sanki kah?
That Talia didn't
Nggak tahu tuh gua apa ya.
But yeah, Betty definitely feels a slightly different role to Shogun. Who's a little bit more.
Bukannya Umbresa itu katanya.
Whereas Betty is just a part of the puzzle for Talon, so to speak. It's not that he's relied on, but he's there consistently doing his job. It definitely feels like it's less of you've got one person sort of leading the charge. It very much Talon, every single member is towing the line, and they're all marching forward together.
Yeah, I think that's less a Betty thing and more of a team thing, right? That's just how.
Ya, emang kualitas videonya
That's how Corgi has
dari
always
sananya emang agak kurang.
And the Talon rosters of the past, they've always been a cohesive unit. It's never been one standout player. It's been, okay, everyone's really good. How do we make their strengths complement each other and make that our pathway to success? Constantly we see them able to do that, and I expect it to continue here.
Yeah, look, if we want to talk disparities in terms of the game as a whole, it was posted earlier, and it's that bot lane matchup. Do you want to take a guess at Betty's KD right now?
It's 20.
Yeah, 20.5, which is, you're looking about a 1.5
I'm not even that old. I'm
more than being triple. Like 1.5 more KD for him. He's tripled what Milan's bringing to the table. So it's a significant disparity down in the bot lane. Arya also sports an 86% kill participation rate, so he is actively involved with this roster, whereas it's much more spread for Talon. Yeah, look, Fofo's at a 79%. He's still the one making a lot of these plays, but it really is just it's still a joint effort. The kill participation for this team as a whole, every single person is sitting above 60%. So everyone is very active and involved for this Talon roster.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, I find, in the current shape of the meta, right? Where a lot of kills are just happening. The other one team's top laner is getting dove, the other team's top laner is getting dove. That's automatically going to be two top laners.
Sama aja di Twitch sih.
For those. So the fact that you are still maintaining that, especially for these top laners, is very impressive. And the mid lane generally not involved in those dives either. Good job! Depending on the champion, but
yeah, it's crazy. Betty has the highest KD at 20.5, has the lowest kill participation on the team, and say Cast is
sama aja di Twitch juga burik.
So it's it's crazy that it's definitely mid and top are the ones that are the most active for this Talon roster in terms of dictating pace.
Yeah, be interested to see how this one shapes out. Draft as well will be interesting. I don't suspect we're going to see the Yasuo. Maybe if we do make it to a game 3 again, but
I just think there's too much in the pool for Talon that they could just really bully the Yasuo out. So you really want to gamble all your eggs into one basket of enabling this Yasuo. But against Talon, you're seeing that Skarner Kalista banned out consistently. Ashe is copping a lot of bans, 75%. Skarner Kalista is 100% ban against Talon. Talon 100% banning out the Nocturne, and then targeting away a lot in terms of the AD carry. They don't like dealing with Corki or Varus. On the blue side, which they have, they've banned out Nocturne, Cassante, Poppy. They're just, everything is derived towards enabling their success points.
Yeah, the music epic. Hopefully the champion select soon to follow. I do think, yeah, this might be, for DFM, they're currently 1-1, if I'm correct, right? They beat the Chiefs and they lost to Team Secret Wales.
Yes, yeah.
Right, so a loss here isn't the end of the world. Obviously, I mean, if you win here, then you're truly contesting for one of those top spots, right? And that's what you're looking for. But I think, especially, you know, it's going to be the Lunar New Year break. Losing here, I don't think it should crack the
Nggak
confidence
tahu,
too much.
nungguin
I
sesuatu.
think ultimately,
Palingan
depending on which AD carry they want to go with between Kakun and Milan going
ganti itu lagi kali. Apa? Overlay ya.
they clearly haven't had the most amount of practice with.
Iya anjir.
Being that the roster was announced only the day before their very first game, right? So a bit more time to build up some synergy between those two AD carries, or whichever AD carry they choose to go for in the remainder of the year, the remainder of the split even. But I think you can come in here and it's going to be.
Oh iya, ini Talon yang main TLN.
It's not the end of the world for you.
No, far from it. Your main goal is.
Kalau Talon P6 kan ini ya Taiwan ya.
Taiwan.
Loss here puts them in a rough spot because you'll have it's still going to be DFM, Chiefs, and SHG.
DFM ini apa ya?
For that 6th place spot at this stage, and after that loss,
DFM team.
Chiefs are probably in the worst spot of the 3 teams.
Detonation Focus Me. Japanese Esport.
I'd still argue that SHG favored over.
Dulunya sih yang nomor 1 Jepang, dan sekarang di nomor 2.
Nomor satunya?
Yang SHG kemarin.
Oh.
Start to the season. As I am being told there has been a client issue, but it should be
RRQ nggak ada Jir. Lama juga. Iya Jir, dari tadi kamera gini-gini doang, Cok. Kagak draft-draft.
SHG are significantly lower down on the standings than they truly would be. It's just their strength of schedule at the very beginning of the split has been, for my memory, the most difficult out of everyone's.
Yeah.
Like I believe they started with CFO, GARM, and Vikings. And aside from Talon, those seem like, you know, top 4 teams, all of them. So, you know, you're losing them. Maybe this means they are just, you know, a 5th place.
Match keberapa Kur baru pulang kerja? Match keberapa nih? Ini tim yang kedua yang main sih. BO3 baru mulai banget.
I think this game will dictate sort of whether it is a 5th or 6th contention. If DFM have a decent showing against,
Gue masih suka bingung antara match sama game ini.
They likely do deal well with SHG and we're into it. Kalestiscana banned again, surprise, surprise, but Zyra Aurora targeted out by Talon.
Udah, drastik akhirnya.
No surprise with the Skana. It's something we do expect. And also the Kalista, while a lot of other teams just leave it open, they're not very scared of it. Betty is a known Kalista enjoyer. Has always been one to pick the Kalista where available, so take that away from him, won't be able to show it.
Oriana banned out against Ari. Hasn't been shown by him yet. I mean, has picked the Yone Yasuo at a certain point, so Ash being targeted there away from Betty, which makes a lot of sense. Those supporty style AD carries do a lot for this Talon roster. They make it that much scary, and we saw how instrumental it was in Team Secret bringing that back against the Chiefs in that last series.
Yeah. First pick of the series now for Talon. Varus is open. Corki as well is open, probably to Fofo, but could also go to Betty.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what we've seen played by them, Corki, yeah, one from Fofo. Hasn't been touched by Betty yet, so it's just a nice little pick that can be flexed either which way. Just gives you a little bit more longevity in the draft in terms of how you respond with the Varus pickup. I mean,
this will probably be answered by Misfortune.
Yeah, I think it's probably the safe bet. Gives Fofo a champion that's still very, very strong. Jason to top lane. For Ray, Cassante, I mean, the Ambessa has been possibly, I think, most prolific pick for Ray, but Cassante's not a bad one either.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Mia Dimbet, laku banget anjir.
So, you're never going to feel too bad on the side of DFM if he does take it up. Casa looking to pick up more.
Ini Corki harusnya mid gak sih?
Masih bisa di ADC juga.
Sejuani being hobbit. See if it does get locked in, but wouldn't be too surprised. It's something that he does like to return to fairly often.
I mean, especially with the Zyra band out as well, which is a pretty standard response.
Kayaknya tergantung jungle sih.
Given how great
kalau
she can
sama
punish that heavy engaged rumble as well for Azi in the top lane. It's
sama Sejuani sih biasanya Corki atau di ADC, dia nggak tahu juga.
Start to establish itself in the combo of Talon's roster.
Yeah, that is a champion as well into the Cassante. It's also one of Arja's favorite champs to play. He always goes back to it when he gets the opportunity to. But Vi I think this might be the first time we've seen it picked. Definitely isn't banned every game, but
Or this is going to be the third Vi for Go On.
oh,
Yeah.
the guy's just given Vi.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, far from. We've seen it a couple of times. I think it was week 1 that it was picked up for the most part.
Right.
Vault Breaker adds a little bit of sticking power, allows something to support Gisante going in. Israel banned out, so they are anticipating this to be a Fofo Corki.
Berarti mereka ngira bakal di mid tuh Corkinya ya.
Betty's champion for now.
Now, while I don't think the champ's in a good spot at the moment, from what we see here,
Cuman gue ngeliat kayak gini, Yone harusnya di band semua kanan. Ada Rumble, ada Sejuani. Kalau ditambah Yone itu combo.
Zaya does exceedingly well into Vi because you are just from level 6, not a target for her ultimate. She presses ult, you press ult, and then she is just stuck in the middle of your team having achieved nothing.
Nih kirinya kan band Yone-nya. Kiri ngejar Yone, ngeband Talia juga soalnya.
But I mean, look, it could be a target against Arya as well. Wouldn't surprise me given the diversity that Arya's already shown in the tournament. Yone.
Emang kenapa ya combo Yone-nya?
Itu Rumble ulti, Yone ulti, jadinya kena semua ulti Rumble.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's pretty hard to tell for the time being, and that's the power of picking up one of these flex picks early on.
Terus kalau Sejuani ngegeng Yone, itu skill yang stunnya jadi cepet stacking.
Kenapa?
Yone kan bisa auto skill 1 auto. Sejuani itu kalau misalkan ada temen melee, dia skill 3-nya tuh nge-stack juga. Makanya kadang digabung sama Renek, sama Yone gitu.
Ambil headtag kencang.
Iya.
The team comp I'm seeing here for the side of Talon is Exodia. They have the Equalizer with Magnet Storm combo, they have the Bullet Time that can come on top of it, and even a Sejuani that can throw out an ultimate from miles away to get it all started.
Yeah, not Bronze Odia though. Ari hovered for Arya in the mid lane. Look, does reasonably well. Yeah, okay, gonna be stuck with, and yeah, the rel was kind of telegraphed with that Poppy ban. You kind of knew exactly what the game plan was there in the bot lane, and there is a lot of layer damage coming out.
Yang kanan tuh Kang Des semua anjir.
For the most part, it's a brawly skirmish comp from the looks of things with DFM. A little bit
Harusnya paling harus Fenet. Mana doang.
Yeah, it's definitely much a DFM don't really want to be fighting 5v5. It's going to be looking for those skirmishes where you got the overmatch and that massive ultimate, coming out of the Vi to lock someone down and just blow them up.
Yeah, it's scary though. Not the most amazing follow-up for the Vi. Kind of the Rakan, and depending on Bravefark, he's able to find a flank, but Talon generally very good with that vision setup and very good with marking. DFM now 1-1 in terms of their series scores. Will be them trying to get their third win. If Talon do win here, it will put them on even footing. Actually, depending on the fashion they win, it would put them maybe 1 point above CFO.
I think it does.
Yeah, if they do 2-0, it'll be 1 point above.
Yeah. Talon will be top of the leaderboard guaranteed for the end of the week if they do win 2-0 cleanly. Unfortunately, yeah, CFO dropping that one map, working against them in that aspect. But I think realistically, if you're CFO, top 2's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, top 3 does give you a side selection, I believe, when it does come through to the playoffs. So, you know, ultimately feels okay. The higher up you are in the standings means, you know, if you're first, I believe you're the 6th. So you do want to be in that spot, but still, if you're second, you probably are just the second best team, and you'll be against the 5th best team, which you're always going to be favored.
Yeah,
be that bad.
I mean, I think we're starting to see sort of where that skill gap is, and it's going to be interesting, Talon versus CFO, to see how big a skill gap there is between first and second. Because I mean, we're already seeing that the top 2 teams are reasonably far ahead of the bottom 4.
Yeah, I think that what's all up in the air is, you know, that 6th, 5th spot. Who is contending for that? Because there's still many teams in contention. Ultimately, there's 4 games apiece left, or series left apiece after this. So, absolutely, you know, Chiefs are 0-3, SoftBank are also 0-3. either one of them, if they come back after this 1 week break and come back with a vengeance and they win 4 straight, then all of a sudden, okay, you're now competing for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And
what is it about the second series of the night that always just it happens? I don't know why.
Paus lagi.
Oh dear.
Kenapa lagi nih?
Arcane Comet for Milan.
Yes, yeah.
So pokey virus is the game plan, not the heavy hitting stick on them type.
Yeah, it'll be the lethality virus. So going for a more poke orientated build does to me make sense because it feels very, very scary to be that on hit when you are going up against things like the bullet time, the magnet storm, the equalizer. You kind of can't be stood in one spot auto attacking. You need to be as far away from the action as possible and just offering long ranged poke and try and thought off any ideas of engage from the other team.
Yeah, the only issue is it feels like maybe they're
Lama lagi nih anjir, selalu tim kedua aja.
a bit of a struggle for DFM to finish off fights. Yeah, they're gonna have great poke, but
beneran ganti gitu. Apa? Overlay.
Toledo nggak ada buat comeback kah? Nggak tahu juga sih, tapi tanggal 1 tanggal 2 ini ada turni, ya turni kayak komunitas gitu loh bisa dibilang.
For Aria, and if you are DFM, he is the person.
Setahu gue sih LCP ini juga ada slot buat kayak Indo SG gitu tuh. Cuman gak ada tim. Semua negara tuh pada gak punya tim, jadi ya udah gak ada yang ikut.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of pressure on his shoulders, unfortunately, but he does seem to thrive pretty well under pressure. He performed very, very well up against the Chiefs, and nods. I think maybe we have it sorted, whatever the case was.
Roll around, make sure the monitor's exactly where it needs to be.
Is it, is it regulation, distance from the side of the desk, palm breadth, and no. He's looking happy, he's shaking the mouse, making sure it's working, taking a sip. Hydration is key, especially in those studios with the AC running, which more than likely will be the case in Taipei. So you can find yourself with cotton mouth, and that sucks. That really sucks, especially when you make
Bang, buru bang.
Looks like we're getting back to the action. You see Betty stop falling and get into game pose. He's chilling, this guy.
Gak ngonten 2R bang, kemarin kan udah.
He's exceedingly comfortable on the champion. I believe it was his most played last year by a large margin from memory, so he's going to be going into this game knowing exactly what he's looking to do.
It's his first appearance on the role this split.
Yeah.
He's very much one-dimensional. It's all, CC engaged, which it's every support at the moment. So.
I mean, that's just everyone. He's actually, at least in the PCS last year, was maybe the second best at the majors. Orca really still kept playing those when everyone else wouldn't. But Woody very, very capable on the majors as well. But just, I guess, it's what the meta is, or their read of the meta. And this early on, not willing to get too risque with it.
Well, I just think it doesn't really feel like the majors offer enough at the moment. You're just going to explode. You don't necessarily have the explosive burst that you need. Even the Elise, the spider form is reasonably tanky. So, plus, I mean, the bailout of the web. So,
I think possibly a read here from the bottom lane of DFM is certainly they'd be the ones that want to be in this 2v2 lane, being that they do have the lethality virus. And will find themselves in it. Both bot lanes just hiding in different areas. Hopefully, I think both of them wanting to deny vision of where they are. But oh lord, it's a soul.
Bukannya ada wakar ya, tapi buat 2026. Jir, jauh banget tuh.
Walah.
Talon so patient. First blood to Betty this early on. That's one stack towards the feet.
DFM-nya kayak sering lihat gue di mana, apa di Valorant.
Kalau World dia DFM sering nongol dah.
Oh,
beberapa tahun yang lalu. Selain tahun kemarin, yang Jepang yang masuk World tuh selalu DFM timnya. Kalau yang kemarin baru SHG doang sekali.
Sayang banget MM-nya mati aja.
Yeah, and now generally you don't want to be in this lane as a misfortune Ral, but when that happens and you get yourself a longsword advantage, you've got both Well, you got just the cleanse, I suppose, away from Milan, so they do have that advantage at least. You're feeling pretty happy. What are you going to be spotted out here and crash down coming onto Heart? Doesn't have to be careful as Guwan's going to be able to come up with that Volt Breaker, and Woody with the flash available should be feeling okay. Castle even here to join him, and should be okay to pick up this red buff now on the side of Talon.
I mean, there's still room for a potential collapse here, but I think you take the victory where you can. Double buffed, unfortunately, or triple buff rather. Go on, going to miss out on that red. I think not the be all and end all for Vi, but it definitely helps the sticking power of those early ganks. Yeah. And so far, this is the exact start that Talon have wanted.
Yeah, I think in general, it's not really about the buff itself, but the XP you get from it, right? You want to get to level 6 as Vi as soon as possible. As I say that, folks. Oh my lord, he manages to get away. That was scary. Does manage to navigate his way out of that. This will be a scuttle crab for Guwan, as Casa does not have access to the smite at that time, and in fact it's Guwan who's up XP for the time being. Casa not going to be able to trade very well with him there. Milan taking a lot of damage. Woody with the continuous CC here. If he's able to get the remount, Biddy will be able to pick up the kill, but there is a flash still available for Milan.
Oh, wow.
And he flashes too late.
Why did you step back in? Right, look, you just keep running. It's the old horror movie trope. You don't stop, you don't turn around, you just keep running. I don't care if it's your friend, you keep going. Just leave them to it. But another fight between the junglers. It is going to be a bit of a wet noodle on the whole. And you are just over 4 minutes in, and your bot laner has already died twice.
Does not bode particularly well, of course, as Milan now will return to lane. This is a lane that...
Carry on. You didn't see nothing, go. just leave. Just go.
Still, Guwan doing a very good job. You know, he's had 2 camps taken away from him, but because Cast has been very slow at getting through it, and he hasn't been able to start doing his second rotation of jungle camps, it's actually Guwan who finds himself at a slight advantage now. Now, Cast, of course, you see all of his camps respawning there on the minimap. Only the red buff is missing.
DFM sering masuk Swiss stage. Yutapon kalau ngomongin si DFM mah Yutapon
ADC-nya udah tua cuman.
You know who I reckon would do really well with the gentlemen?
Gue nggak tahu masih main atau kagak. Kayaknya udah enggak deh.
It's the gentleman. Yeah. Oh dear, we seem to be overheated. Flame spitter going out, sir. Just Jarvis.
Yeah.
Just Jarvis in the mech.
I mean, I don't hate the idea. We need to pitch that to someone.
Sir, mech is outputting power at 400%. Ray is just not having a good time. I mean, he's doing well CS-wise, but overall HP struggle. I mean, I have to say, Fofo as well in the mid lane teleported right into a charm, lost half his HP, and he's just not threatening.
Yeah, I mean, this is the nature of Rumble versus Cassandre, unfortunately. It does start to get better. Once you get level 6, you do have quite a lot of kill threat as the Cassandre, if Rumble were to misstep, but still. I don't think Arj is going to feel particularly inclined to do anything all that aggressive considering the state of this bot lane matchup.
Well, I mean, look, the deaths haven't continued, I suppose, which is good for DFM right now, but Cast is freely going to be able to take these Void Grubs. It is going to be a trade for the Dragon, at least. DFM are looking for those opportunities where they can. A Hextech Drake going their way. Fofo now Sexto, as well as Arji. So there we get into the point where DFM are going to have to be a little bit careful in terms of positioning because those big ultimates are coming online.
Here it is. Going to be the Grubs. The Dragon, of course, as you mentioned.
Bisa satu terus darahnya anjing.
I don't think necessarily a trade that favors either of them, depending on what happens for the next Grubs. But go on, going to try and sneak in here and take himself a red buff. Finally gets to answer back for the red buff of his own that was stolen earlier on in the game. But again, I don't think either of these junglers are particularly upset with the current position of the game for themselves. Now, obviously, Guwan probably not happy that his bot lane is getting punished as hard as they are.
Gets it. He's that kid that, you know, only talks smack when he's walking away. Wants to make sure that he's getting out freely. Harp down in the bot lane with Milan, and this Rumble has the output, I think, to just murk Milan if he's not careful.
Kalau meta jungle tebel kah?
GP, that's it.
Kalau di turni sih iya ya jarang assassin.
Talon, I mean,
Assassin nggak ada yang kepake kan.
Paling si apa Nocturne.
Nocturne juga hitungannya jadi bruiser.
Oh. Kalau di rank mah aman-aman aja tuh main pakai assassin. Malah di rank mending main ini kayak assassin kayaknya.
Kalau di rank iya, kalau di rank enakan assassin soalnya sering banyak yang misah mencat. Ngilangin satu udah pasti menang fight.
Apalagi kalau udah ngerti main mah mending carry pakai assassin.
Of the two lanes, Argy probably has a better time farming into range. Casa, oh, the reps there onto Harp. They're going to use it.
Yeah, they find everything. Knock off. The battle dance will be available soon. He does get it out. That's a flash used for Harp, but ultimately, you're not upset about that. He did survive.
Ini mah dicekek pelan-pelan tuh.
So I think realistically, if they just pulled the trigger, they would have got the kill.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, it's a flash that will no longer be available, which means that there is a window where Harp can't help with the kill.
Hah? Nggak tahu ya dia kalau ada orang di situ ya? Dari nembaknya ya? Anjing, what the fuck? Enak banget tuh killnya bang. Gitu doang aja.
Unfortunately, the menu wave isn't the biggest for Talon. I think if it was, you know, there was more for them to work
Lagi
with.
dia fast check gitu anjir.
They were probably looking for a dive there, honestly.
Yeah, Argy to come in to try and answer this mid lane push rather, as he did get the bot lane pushed on out. We'll be able to be here for the majority of the minions, only really missing out on 2 of them.
Halo Poro.
Gold still will be collected by the side of Talon, but still some tower plates over to Arya, the kill as well. Getting himself into a position to have some fight back in this game. Obviously, Betty still yet to really interact outside of that 2v2 we saw earlier, and he is where the largest majority of this gold difference does lie. Ray trying to get as much farm as he possibly can, but unfortunately just getting poked out bit by bit.
Yeah, I think Lemus probably can take some notes. You can position like that when you are playing as well as Betty. If you position like that when you were Lemus in the last series, yeah, it doesn't go the same way. You likely just end up being punished. Burst aggressiveness without information is a rough gig. But I mean, for the most part, Talon, okay, Fofo's just heading up top lane. All right.
Yeah, going to need a free lane as Corky. You kind of at this point in the game where you're now power trothing. I mean, especially in your direct lane, right? You've got the
Nama lu Andre ya, Poro.
He doesn't want to be part of that. He's kind of that late game insurance for the team.
Loh. Anjir. Flashnya bikin dia kayak bisa kabur. Bagus.
That is going to be a successful claim. Once again onto 2-1. Charm does connect here, but not really any true angle for Arya to find a kill.
I think off the back of that, go on down.
Sama kayak Hawk dong metanya jungle tebal. Semua MOBA sih sekarang kayak gitu. Emang konsep assassin tuh susah kalau untuk turni.
Cuma di Mobile Legends nih.
Mobile Legends juga yang tebal aja.
Dulu kan masih meta assassin.
Iya.
Going up against another support. Woody though could be in trouble.
This here, Chain of Corruption does come out, and looks like Woody will be taken out. Milan going to claim that one with that piercing arrow. Good find on the back end of that. Woody certainly overstaying his welcome.
Lah bisa ketahu gitu nama gue Andre. Andre Saputra kan.
If an objective fight comes up, the Cloud Drake.
What the hell?
So yeah, the Ocean Drake, sorry, not Cloud. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Ocean Drake is going to be up 6 seconds. Probably would have helped to have that there, honestly.
For sure, but doesn't seem like Talon are particularly worried about contesting for the time being, as Arya's actually going to get teleported on. This is Arya.
Itu yang pakai kuda namanya siapa? Rel. Bang aku takut. Lagian lu bikin playlist namanya Andre Saputra, tolo banget aja. Playlist by Andre Saputra anjay.
Ultimately, I think contributes to the success or failure of DFM. The rest of the team will be there playing along beside him.
Tarik picknya enak mana kayaknya Kor? Kayaknya kiri ya?
Kanan sebenarnya ngepick satu-satu tuh kuat.
Oh buat nyulik ya?
Iya. Kalau misalkan kayak yang jadi cuma satu orang tuh tinggal pencet ulti semua pasti mati.
Tapi kalau buat T-Fight lebih enak yang kiri ya.
Tim fight kiri jauh enak. Cuman berat di si relnya harus bikin play.
Tower as healthy as possible while the rest of the team of DFM tries to rotate in. Casa has just been consistently in Guan's jungle. No vault breaker there.
Jelek di Varus doang sih yang kanan gua rasa. Varusnya bikinnya pasti pop. Damage-nya kurang.
Kena doxing, bukan doxing lah orang itu data public. Kenapa nggak nonton waktu LCK? Karena nggak dikasih akses dan izin. LCK itu turni yang paling susah untuk dapetin nobarnya cuy.
Kalau dapat malah lebih seru, LCK jauh.
Kalau dapat akses LCK gue mah pasti view gue setara World aja. Karena susah dapet nobarnya LCK. Sekelas streamer yang ribuan luar pun belum tentu dapet dia.
Wants to try and steal it back. Okay, yeah, go on. This could get dicey.
Bisa gitu aja. Ups.
Oh.
Mati dong jadinya MM-nya ini mah. Anjir, woi. Anjir, ngeri banget cuy.
Anjir.
Berani banget anjir.
Tapi ini yang main di kiri emang ada ADC-nya doang sih. Sisanya nggak ada yang gitu.
Iya juga. Kalau LPL gimana? Nah, LPL kurang tahu, kayaknya juga susah deh.
Sama susahnya harusnya kayak LCK.
Karena mereka tuh ini cuy, merasa dirinya itu tinggi, jadi nggak mau lah ngasih sembarangan cuy. Mereka udah, apalagi kayak Cina Korea itu kan kayak apa ya? Kalau apalagi Korea kan entertainmentnya itu kan ini banget cuy, tinggi banget. Mereka udah effort invest gede duit, masa ngebiarin orang-orang sembarangan buat nobarin ini mereka.
Dive on in, they drop everything, but yeah, it's just the fact that the heavy hitters are in the back line.
Kecuali kalau work kan itu dari Riot bisa dibilang. Dan nobarnya juga bukan yang Korea.
Given the damage output that was just left free and available for DFM, for sure.
1.5k gold advantage for DFM. Definitely bringing it back. No massive objective fights. There have been fights, but not particularly over anything of value, right? Like, we're just having random fights here and there. And importantly, Talon haven't managed to find fights where Biddy could have linked up while he was so far ahead. We kind of got Biddy ahead in that isolated 2v2 and haven't played around it whatsoever. Go on, starting up the Rift Herald. It's going to be that bottom side tower, the target for Talon.
Yeah, no teleports up for Talon to be able to contest.
Dan kudu punya sponsor yang lumayan gede juga. Iya. CHF minimal viewer Kuro minimal 1k. Enggak guys, enggak cuma sekedar 1k aja. Timber luar berapa sih paling yang bisa dapat LCK aja? Enggak banyak.
Yang gua tahu aktif sih cuma si Kedel sama I Will Dominate doang. Kalau di barat.
Di Asia Tenggara tuh yang gede tuh sini siapa namanya ya? Lupa gue. Yang orang Filipina itu cuy. Yang dulu dia main Wild Rift.
They want this mid tower. They want to open up the map, which is the right call for DFM. It's about maintaining that macro. Milan hits a
Raz ya, Ramzi, apa sih namanya lupa.
Does get caught by the Rift Herald, knocked aside and charmed up by Aria, but unfortunately for the side of DFM, that cleanse is going to allow him to get on out of there and not willing to commit too hard there on the Aria.
I reckon honestly, you consider that a success. You picked up Rift Herald, you then transition into finishing off the final outer tower for Talon. which means that DFM has, I mean, a significant amount of priority around the map, given their mid-outer is still in play. It just gives them a little bit more flexibility between top and bottom side. Yeah, look, top outer, bottom outer gone. Honestly, everything is coming up DFM right now.
Yeah, sure is. 2k gold ahead and 1 minute until the mountain dragon will spawn. Of course, if they do pick that up, it would put them one singular dragon away from the soul point, more aptly named. It's a portal combat again. I don't think they're gonna kill each other. I don't think it's possible.
I mean, Woody got out with the pedal, so you take that at the end of the day. 50 seconds to the next Drake, which would then put DFM on soul point. Khan as well, just under 2 minutes away, so a minute longer on that spawn time than the dragon. Harp, I mean, he had 3 members on him, but he's not fast. He's just walking his way out.
Itu Azim pakai rumble.
DFM macro game is on point. TLN
Iya.
are gonna have to pull out much the same. I think they did.
Personal branding lah Kur, Vtuber the best or nothing gitu, atau enggak head ke SKT aja, kayak I will dominate, view-nya naik terus. Masalahnya itu di Indo tuh emang pasarnya nggak gede cuy, jadi maupun segimik apapun ya begitulah.
Yang nontonnya nggak ada mah.
Kayak kolam ikan gitu, mau gue pakai pancing ataupun mau pakai jaring yang melanggar ilegal gitu, yang jaring super kecil, karena ikan yang nggak ada tetap bakal kecil cuy. Tapi sebenarnya, tapi kalau work, kenapa rame itu karena ini sih, karena orang, wih, sepuh-sepuh yang pengen ngelihat keadaan work aja gitu. Kecuali kalau gue main game main legenda ya, mobile legenda ya. Nah kalau gue ngelakuin itu mungkin baru bisa. Fans T1 itu lumayan militan pak, ada yang kena report massa. Anjir. Di Indo enggak kan? Kenapa visual darah di LoL kayak tebel banget ya? Iya dia kalau nggak salah 1 bar itu, gue lupa gue.
1 bar tuh 100.
Oh 100. Yang gue inget Dota entah 125 apa 225 gitu.
There was that absolute bloodbath though. Bottom Tribrush and the DFM side jungle, which they came out on top. So I think it just does lean their way a little bit more. So yeah, Khan bot side, nothing really they can transition into off the back of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see this stay up for the next 2 to 3 minutes, because I mean you're only getting so much value if you take it now. There's just nothing to then back it up with.
The lull period, I do believe.
Bangku telat nggak? Tidak.
You know, passive this game has seemed, given the start and given that it is Talon,
Nyatakannya 2 kali lagi nih.
given as much room to work with to DFM as they have.
Yeah, I think probably just realizing that when they're at the strongest will be when Fofo has his 2 items. It's just the nature of these Triforce Manamune building AD carry champs is they kind of need those 2 to function. You know, he'll do a bit of damage with the Triforce, sure. Is it going to be comparable to Leandri's Malignant? Probably not.
Talon ganti mid kerasa banget jadi pasif.
Oh ini midnya baru ini.
Iya. Yang sebelumnya tuh yang si Maple, cuman udahan juga kalau gara-gara udah tua. Ya.
Ini kayak Packer kamennya, pasif aja.
Nah udah, gue baru lihat juga soal ini Fofo ini.
That's a big cooldown use. Flash even for Rel. Another big one. Casa starts trying to use his flail at us here in New Zealand, but not going to be too much effect. Still, Fofo, he does have his mirror mana now. There's a lot of damage that can come through from this Corki. The big ultimate's being missing though. I mean, no bullet time makes this Misfortune champion a whole lot harder to navigate in these teams. Fofo finding a nice amount of damage onto Harp. Keep in mind, Quickness Flash still available on this Rakan.
Glacial Prison there as well, so they've got the tools. Woody ultimate equalizer there, so they've got the layer they need to get out some big CC into some big damage. I'm not sure why DFM are posturing so heavily around this Artican. You haven't got much to play off the back of it unless you want to try and force down some towers. So I think it was always going to be a bait, but DFM sort of set the trap too early.
Yeah, I mean, they still do a pro over this mid lane, and they're going aggressive here onto Castle. Everything being used, flashed onto him. The equalizer is really good, though, from RJ, splitting out this team fight very, very well.
Gak ada MF langsung dibuka anjir. Tapi tetap menang.
Can there be the damage coming through from Fofo? It's a double kill from Milan, but Betty is still up. It's a 3v3. Arya does get the reset, so he is able to get himself out. Watch for the making.
Belum udah ulti tadi MF-nya.
The double up's not good enough. The cleanse does come through.
And
It's another flash. The double up once again still will not quite claim its target. And it's a team fight going evenly, but so close to Betty just wiping.
I mean, it's very interesting as well, given the implications of what could come off the back of this match. And you would have thought in these choke points, everything layered on top of each other the way that you want it, it would have been perfect for Talon, but unfortunately not the case.
Ulti Rumble-nya sih malesin juga sih.
How long he survived in that fight. He was on a sliver of HP, allowed the rest of the team to come in and start mopping up the chains.
Emang cuma buat ulti kalau yang di PC itu.
The big winner has to be Betty, even though he
Makanya kalau nggak dikomboin biasanya nggak guna.
close to finding these
Kalau di Buka tuh kuat anjir Rumble.
Terakhir di buff juga itu shieldnya makin tai.
Iya shieldnya itu loh. Udah shieldnya lumayan, cooldownnya cepet banget sih menurut gue shield.
I think uncharacteristic of Betty there though is not knowing information on things like Milan's flash, so he uses flash and cleanse to hard commit to that chase. He needed to get those kills for it to be worth it. Ends up just using it for nothing, ultimately. Yes, he ends up getting Milan's flash, but in the current state of the game, Milan is a lot safer as an AD carry.
Di sungai bagian Dragonland apa itu? Atakan.
Whereas Betty, you know, he has his bullet time. After that, he really needs to get up close and personal to find those auto attacks.
At this stage, this is where I would expect the Artican to be committed to, because, I mean, Earth Drake is coming up, 30 seconds on the Baron.
Nanti dah pada 3 item baru kelihatan nih siapa yang menang.
You then pick up Artican, go for those objectives, or you just outright take Artican, win the fight.
30 menitan lah.
You know, the recalls, and then from there, Dragon started up well and truly for DFM.
Ya harusnya kalau makin late yang kiri sih jauh lebih menang. Damage-nya lebih stabil. Oh, wah.
MF-nya dapat, cuma nggak ada yang nge-damage.
Wush. Now it's still going to be a 2 for 0. It is going to be Talon that win it up, and they will get themselves the second dragon.
Talon, the Masters are biding their time.
Yang kanan nggak ada constant damage soalnya. Kalau di hard engage kayak gitu kalah.
The resistance of DFM, Artican going to be taken. It will then likely be transitioned into their
Dan juga bang kemarin udah full item bisa sampai 50 menit. Iya sih.
Yeah, very possibly they do have to be careful though. There is
Bosen deh, 10 menit.
I was going to say there could be pressure over on the Baron. This lethality Varus takes it so slowly, and
harusnya tapi ini Talon udah menang sih.
For Talon because they did take the Artican and then the Dragon, so DFM are going to be on the map a lot quicker. But as long as no Baron goes down, they're going to feel very good about it.
Yeah, I mean, Casa overplays his hand here. Unfortunately for DFM, he's so beefy. This lethality Varus doesn't deal with it. The bullet time, magnificent, splits the difference. Guan decides to go in, but because of the bullet time, the team is spread. Once again, chains of corruption used to
sejauh ini makan damage selama itu darah masih 4 anjir.
Yeah, look, everything that could have gone wrong for DFM went wrong, and everything that could have gone right for Talon went right.
Yeah, definitely. You're seeing that in this gold, right? It was a pretty substantial advantage here for DFM. Now Talon bringing it back. They have access to the Artican buff now, which means they can just march down at this tower, and with Woody coming behind them, DFM are going to want nothing to do with it and just give over that mid lane now.
I mean, that's exactly it. And they're going to look for the tier 2 as well. That Artican's only going to do so much. Arya heads back mid, forced to teleport in to try and assist with the team, but I mean, that tower was going to go down regardless. Maybe it could have been utilized later. And I think Talon off the back of that, we did see the reset come through. They might posture towards
Masih
this
cuma gue nggak minat lagi.
with the last remnants of the Artican buff.
Yeah, and they have the Artican buff. Well, the one thing that is not playing in their favor is that Betty hasn't actually recalled. Obviously, having the Bloodthirst and the Essence Reaver gives him immense tempo. He can just hit minions and get all of his resources back, but it does mean that he is not as strong as he possibly could be. Arkan buff, though, being there should mean they are able to take this team fight win. You're seeing Aria building defensively. The Banshees is available. The ult goes wide there for Casa, but it does get the Banshees off. Flash forward from Woody. He does claim two, and here comes the equalizer. This is the power of the two picks. Rayfaki, half making to give himself a bit of tankiness, but Fofo's going to be able to claim it eventually anyway. And now, even though the Arkan buff will be coming off the side off Talon, they should be able to pick up the Baron.
I mean, your one hope, your one prayer is Guon going for a steal, but Woody and Fofo cutting that off at the knees, heading to the top side, and Guon doesn't want a bar of it. And Talon, they bide their time, they find their opening, they exploit that opening, and then look to compound, and they do just that. They're going to get themselves a Baron for their troubles, and DFM, look, they had a good run in this game, but I think that's well and truly over.
Yeah, definitely it's Talon with all the cards now, as Baron was secured there. It's also going to be Fofo able to pick up a rapid fire cannon when he does get that recall through. And we just take a look. Woody just sitting here. He's on vision. They know where he is, but he's just going to be able to find the angle anyway.
Milan was there 1 second, gone the next. I mean, I don't even think the bullet time clipped him. He just died. And despite
Lu pilih apa, Bang?
Glacial Prison, it was enough to
Talon.
split the team, meant that there was no backup coming in to help collapse on that fight. And yeah, brilliant stuff out of Cast. He's really doing well controlling the moment. And you look how long that DFM did have control over this game, and it swung back severely in favor of Talon.
Sure. Now as Talon do wield the Baron, yeah, Woody's looking for something. He does have the crash down available to him, and oh my god, almost predicts, but Rayfaki is going to be able to flash and get himself out of harm's way still. That's another summoner spell just being used. Take stock of the map. It's Fofo who doesn't have flash. He can be vulnerable if somehow DFM find a way onto him, but Betty feeling completely okay. He has the Thonias. He's going to be able to go golden. Guon not going to find the lockdown, but still Rayfaki does find the kill. There is no equalizer until just now as Arjik trying to get there from the middle lane. Rayfaki, he gets the
Padahal udah bagus itu tadi. Tetap kalah.
Kill now for
Udah
Talon.
gak
Still has the
bisa.
Baron. It's a 3v4. Harp very, very low with nothing really to offer his team. Means that everyone's going to tuck tail and head back to that fountain, get some resources back up.
Emang rusuh sih befatakan ini. Iya.
I mean, it's such a shame. It did look like that for a moment there.
Ngekillnya juga susah aja, jadi kayak ngebarut gitu, ngajak perang terus jadi.
Rayfaki commits too deep, isolates himself into the middle of Talon, and they just mop him up. And that's your front line gone. There is no real tank force for DFM to allow these three remaining champions to do anything. Yeah, look, you've still got the Rakan, but there's only so much you can do off the back of that. And you look at it, they just overcommit. They want Fofo, but Fofo's already itemized to deal with that. Look how deep Guon ends up with the Harp, and they just can't do anything. The one saving grace.
Udah bagus loh tadi UTMF sebenarnya, tapi diganggu Rakan ini.
And while this is all going on, we see the end of the team fight. Rayfaki trying to get onto Betty, and will do so, but go down immediately after. Is that the reason why RJ is so late is he's pushing that mid lane. They're trying to play two lanes with the Baron so they can try and attack at different points. The team fight comes out. It's a 4v5 for the vast majority of it. RJ gets there for the very end. But Talon win the team fight. They get the bot lane inhib. And because of the work RJ did pushing the mid lane earlier, they then rotate to the mid lane, also claim that inhib. So now it's two inhibs instead of one. I think the only team in the league we've seen be able to do something like that, pull off that macro to such perfection, is this team. And we see a fight coming out. The charm does land to RG, but he's able to go golden. And here comes all the AoE from the
ulti kah? Ulti, nah.
He gets down the equalizer. An equalizer is an odd name for it in this game, as it's just completely melting through the health bars off DFM. All the time, Milan will be able to survive, but the top lane inhib certainly will not. And 31 minutes in, it's 3 inhibs down and potentially a game.
Okay, this is where Chiefs thought they were in that second game of the series. Unfortunately, they were not in that position. And yeah, so you had Seeker's Arm Guard on Fofo, and yeah, they're just going to look to end it here. There's only so much DFM can do, and most of it's just scream angrily into the void.
Oh, wah, digeser sama kesanteng malah jadi gak mati.
Terus selamat aja.
Bola harinya jadi gak kena gara-gara digeser.
But this Nexus will not be respawning. It's going to be Talon taking game number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, itemization there was key. They had to deal with Guon's engage. Seeker's Arm Guard on the Cork. He denied the engage, everything. They then had it on Aji as well. The DFM, to be fair,
itu skin Ari Faker ya? Nggak merhatiin gue. Kayaknya iya deh.
Unfortunately, Zonya's was already out. Aji just turns golden, turns around, drops the equalizer while the team rallies around him and just murders DFM. Talon are just the kings of weathering the storm. They bide their time again. They spot that opening. They exploit that opening. These guys seemingly can withstand anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another game, right? It is a worrying trend to see them You know, they were very far ahead off the back of that early game where Betty just picks up 2 kills for almost completely free. They did end up falling behind. I think credit to DFM and Aria in particular, able to set that up and get himself some kills, set up things for Guon, who was able to find, you know, a solo kill up on the top side on Fofo. But for the team that we expect to be the best in the league, I don't think you should find yourself that far ahead and then end up falling behind. Sure, you may be able to clean it up, but again, you don't want to be having to do that every single game.
Yeah, limit testing is probably the best description, but I think the biggest issue, DFM plateaued. They had a lead, you could see it on the graph, they plateaued, and it just slowly dwindled and dwindled and dwindled until Talon spotted their opportunity. I mean, they were about to put themselves on sole point and then just gave up the dragon. I mean, I think if they'd honestly given that a contest, they had the tools to win that fight before. The, you know, Seeker's arm guards, Zhonya's were coming up that nullified what Guon was doing. So DFM just a little bit too hesitant, I think. I think if they'd been a little bit more confident, been more willing to fight over what they should need, they could have taken.
Warnanya nyatu sama map.
I think so too. I think you could also argue that they were not hesitant enough because
Harus dibalancing aja nih buff atakan masa setim hidup semua.
maybe they can still win the fight. I think Arya being
Tapi hidupnya di base sih.
Gue nggak tahu sih udah diganti atau belum. Cuman yang jadi masalah tuh, lu mati drop duitnya cuman jadi berapa ya? 100 apa 75 gitu atau? Pokoknya lu tuker 2 lawan 5 tuh udah lebih untung yang kill 2 itu. Masalahnya di situ.
When we were back, we'll see if DFM can fight back.
Atau dikasih batas gitu, misal kayak punya buff itu tapi yang bisa hidup 2 kali mungkin cuman kayak 3 orang pertama doang gitu mungkin.
Sebenarnya dengan kalau misalkan yang punya buff hatakan mati tetap drop gold 300 itu udah cukup sih buat di balance. Jadinya tetap mikir-mikir lu punya buff GA reset. Kalau lu mati lu ngasih duit 300, lu kalau tele gagal mati lagi malah musuh yang cuan tuh lagi yang defend tuh.
Iya. Arinya nggak guna cuk. Iya kan, tadi Ari kill banyak gue lihat.
Susah kalau udah di akhir gara-gara dia dipantatin terus tujuannya.
8 menit sekarang.
Halo semua, balik gue oke, walaupun telat sekitar 1 minggu, tapi ya sekarang gue bakal react video dari Ragnarok M Eternal Love kedua, dan ini versi demo.
Tiba-tiba ada Ragnarok Open World, anjing jadi Genshin gini.
Dibuat beda, Ragnarok yang akhirnya dibuat beda. Dari
ini kayak gue mau main deh.
Ragnarok yang lainnya. Cuman ini first impression gue untuk ngeliat videonya, jadi
Five RO2 gak sih ini anjir?
Iya kayak RO2.
Yang demo sama yang full gameplay. Jadi kita
kayak RO2 cuman ya. Tampilannya tuh Eternal Love.
Oke, untuk grafisnya 3D ya. Oh, lihat ini UI-nya.
Oh, monsternya keren jir.
Open world-nya.
Wah, ini kayak gue bakal main deh nanti.
MMORPG ya.
Tapi biasanya lama cuy, dia mau apa? Nge-milking dulu Ragnarok yang lain, setelah abis Ragnarok yang lain baru dia bakal ngerilis game ini, biasanya gitu. Jadi lama ini.
Untuk skillnya 1, 2, 3, 4
Ragnarok yang lagi di milking sekarang The Ragnarok. Jadi paling nunggu setahun dulu lebih mungkin.
Dan untuk open world-nya kalau bisa kita banding sama Genshin ya bisa ya. Karena emang suasana ini agak-agak mirip, tapi ini MMORPG. Gaven, Frontera. Wow. Bisa dilihat kan langsung semua kotanya.
Main di server mana nih kita nanti cuy, jauh-jauh Sultan anjing.
Cuman di kanan bawah, mungkin karena ini MMORPG ya, itu ada
Keren banget underworld-nya. Undersea-nya. Sea world nih. Bisa jalan aja di Sea world nih.
Ini bukan berenang loh, ini jalan di air loh ini. Oke, jadi emang bener-bener dibuat apa ya?
Kayak Genshin banget. Anjir, ada ini juga tempat tinggi kayak Genshin.
Yang biasanya untuk kamera dilihat dari atas. Dan emang mungkin udah kehabisan ide juga mungkinnya untuk developernya. Edgar dong.
Ada raid-nya kah? Anjir, skill Edgar-nya keren banget.
Itunya kenapa naik ke atas by the way? Drake.
Ada Drake. Anjir, keren coy skinnya.
Oke, mekaniknya gimana nih? Maksudnya dodge kah? Parry kah?
GTB. Poring. Dark Angel.
Ya juga ya, MVP-nya berarti banyak banget bentar.
Victor bilang semuanya jadi more PG gini bro.
Iya.
Cuman
ininya blacksmith-nya keren banget. Ini warrior. Ini assassin kayaknya. Thief. Ini mage. Ini blacksmith.
Yang gue lihat di sini untuk desain karakter Ragnaroknya nggak hilang ya. Walaupun diubah jadi 3D yang agak dewasa kayak gini. Enggak.
Apaan tuh skill blacksmith nih? Adakah player Cina main di LCP? LCP Taiwan paling.
Dengan broker chibi 3D yang agak dewasa kayak gini. Enggak chibi. Tapi desain Ragnaroknya itu enggak hilang.
Bukan desain Ragnarok yang gak hilang, desain Ragnarok mobile-nya gak hilang aja.
Oke, jujur
mending bikin Ragnarok 2 aja gak sih, anjir lah. Iya, Ragnarok Eternal Love 2.
Dari LOM. Oke, untuk pendapat gua ya sekali lagi gua tertarik ya. Cuman gua nggak tahu nih apakah ini emang kalau misalnya emang pure MMORPG jadi kemungkinan besar bakal ada autonya kah? Soalnya ada tombol kecil di bawah tuh di
pasti ada auto sih.
Dan ini mereka liatin yang versi PC-nya terus saja. Untuk versi mobile nggak tahu seperti apa. Cuman kalau dari grafis terus juga desain karakter untuk unsur Ragnaroknya ini gak hilang ya, alias masih ada. Dan gue suka itu bener-bener gak dirubah sepenuhnya. Kalau misalnya kita bandingin sama kayak Ragnarok 2 yang original,
ini apa namanya,
yang
lupa
original, beda banget ya. Karena untuk Ragnarok 2 kalau nggak salah itu lebih tinggi-tinggi nggak sih. Dan juga untuk Ragnarok 2 tuh gameplaynya ya point and click MMORPG ya. Tapi kalau ini sekali lagi gue masih belum tahu apakah ini hack and slash kah atau bukan, atau kayak serangan basic attack-nya full auto gitu. Cuman untuk open world-nya wah bagus kalau misalnya emang beneran seperti ini ya, semoga. Jadi emang bener-bener pure open world, nggak dipisah sama portal,
nggak ada full damage
dan masih tetap MMORPG. Walaupun nyemplung cloud-nya pun ya seriusan ini bagus. Kalau misalnya yang udah pernah main Ragnarok ya tahu lah ini map mana ya. Oke, di sini ngeliatin untuk battle-nya. Jadi untuk UI-nya emang masih tetap seperti ini dan gua nggak tahu untuk tombol autonya kenapa pindah ke atas. Auto kan itu ya, mungkin. Cuman kalau dilihat di sini mekanik si bosnya sepertinya rada-rada serem by the way. Jadi kalau misalnya ditambahin unsur kayak dodge, terus juga parry, terus juga mungkin nggak deh. Maksudnya ini kan MMORPG ya. agak susah juga. Tapi ya kalau misalnya emang ditambahin unsur-unsur seperti itu, ya kalau dilihat di sini untuk mekanik si bosnya wah banget, buset. Harusnya walaupun bos mekaniknya seperti itu ya ngandelin tanker sama healer itu masih harus tetap ada sih di Ragnarok ya, karena itu berhubungan dengan kelasnya juga. Jadi jangan sampai kayak full DPS gitu ya, semuanya bisa DPS kayak Wuthering Wave dan lain, itu udah beda banget sih. Tapi kalau misalnya Ragnarok ya gue berharap untuk role-nya masih benar-benar penting banget dalam satu party gitu ya. Cuman ya gue belum ngelihat untuk video yang 16 menitnya. Setelah ini bakal gue react juga. Oke, ini video 16 menitnya, ini mana di awal kita emang milih gender. Iya, masih tetap milih gender, harus ada kalau Ragnarok. Dan juga ada kostumisasi yang emang simple. Ragnarok nggak usah detail-detail banget untuk Ragnarok. Kostumisasi karakternya simple pun itu udah lebih dari cukup ya. Dan juga untungnya untuk game ini ya simple, bener-bener simple ya. Upgradean dari 2007-nya ini dulu secara full untuk icon gitu ya. Oke, ini take a look at surrounding and ourselves.
Pedangnya terbang gitu nih.
By the way, dan Y udah dikasih devil wing gitu. Tapi ya gue emang lebih nunggu Ragnarok yang jadi beda sih ya, daripada emang kayak franchise yang mirip-mirip Ragnarok 1 dengan yang lainnya gitu. Ini nggak dibatas dari jalan utama ke ya wilayah luar jalan utamanya, bagus. Kenapa frame drop ini?
Bisa manjat.
You will learn some basic ability like sending emoji. Oh, untuk tutorial masih belum ada ya, karena ini cuman ya demo dari developernya doang. Auto restore HP, apa tadi? Auto restore HP, sitting down and other fundamental feature ya. Masih tetap ada. Itu fitur-fitur yang ada di Ragnarok yang original. Ya, terus saja musuh pertamanya tetap boring. Oh, bisa naik ke sini juga. Oke, gue suka sih. Kalian by the way? Oke. Oh. Oke, itu excel in climbing, jumping, and gitu ya untuk. Ini attack speed ada. Ini yang bentar-bentarnya beda-beda kan untuknya ya. Serius. Untuk di air bener-bener kiblatnya ke original Ragnarok ya. Ya entahlah. Yes, ini matching.
Blessingnya.
Oke, kita lihat.
Sound effect-nya kayak agak beda juga.
Untuk tombol yang kemungkinan autonya itu nggak dipakai. Ya entahlah. Ini pop-nya freeze pula ya, jadi nggak kelihatan ini hand slash, pure hand slash atau serangan biasanya auto ini. Ini seru sih ya, mekaniknya jadi kayak gini. Oke, entah itu kayak tetap sama, ini Ragnarok banget. Dan juga emang FK-nya dong. Tunggu, itu critical si Angel freeze lagi. Tapi ya ini
Ini dikasih lihat freeze doang anjir.
Battle freeze itu tahun depan itu kita nggak tahu ya, tapi untuk videonya pun ini emang udah bener-bener diupload sama Ragnarok M Eternal Love yang officialnya di YouTube-nya gitu ya. Jadi emang di developnya sama Big Cat Studio.
Itu pra pendaftaran di Play Store ada 3 jenis Ragnarok lagi tuh.
Awal, jadi kita
berarti kelar dulu 3 Ragnarok baru rilis tuh Ragnarok itu.
Consistently, I mean, something like Caitlyn, it's not perfect in this situation, but you want something that can sort of stand back a bit further, pump out damage, and just whittle away at the HP bars. Something like Jin, maybe. It really isn't a perfect answer, but just something a little bit different than the lethality Varus.
Yeah, and ultimately something different is going to have to come out, right? Because Fearless Draft.
Anjir, cari Ragnarok di Play Store satu layar
banyak.
Nggak bisa habis mesti Ragnarok semua anjir.
So far, you know, every time Talon switches up, it feels like they arguably get more and more consistent and stronger. But I've been asked a question. The answer to the question is yes. So believe we're going to go to a break. A client issue again, I would suppose. But when we are back, hopefully we'll get game 2 going on.
Apalagi nih delay nambah lagi 4 menit jir lah. Ini nonton YouTube lagi gue. Gon adalah muslim.
Tahukah kalian pada Hunter x Hunter episode 38 versi dub Indomuse Indonesia, saat Gon dan Killua mau pergi mencari Ging, ada NPC random bilang jangan lupa untuk sholat pada saat mereka udah naik kapal.
Anjir.
Wah, ada loh orang random yang ingetin Gon buat sholat, tapi apakah Gon selama ini sholat pada saat dalam perjalanan mencari Ging? Tidak hanya itu aja sih, di episode 46 Leo Rio bilang sulit untuk mendapatkan uang dengan cara halal. Lalu ini adalah respon Gon.
Tapi adu panco tidak bisa dibilang halal juga sih.
Nih anak udah tahu nyari uang melalui panco adalah tidak halal, tapi masih dia laku.
Lu tau gak?
Ayo Talon menangin.
Tuh jadi Hokage setelah si Tsunade lengser, tapi karena hari ini gue kan cobain perfect slash lagi, sebuah
rating jalan tol Hilos. Pertama yang noise-nya dulu.
Berapa lama aku harus nunggu untuk ngelihat logo di...
Inilah beberapa momen kocak.
Kamu tidak harus menyukai seni.
Because at age 5 you go to school, and school is fun because you make friends, but school is hard because they give you homework. And you start to learn a few things, and those things turn into a job. Maybe that job becomes a career someday, and before you know it, you've learned quite a few things. You've met quite a few people. Maybe you find someone or a group of people you want to spend your time with, and your life is looking pretty great, but it's looking pretty full. You see, one thing grown-ups are always good at is remembering to fill our calendars. And one thing we're terrible at is leaving enough room for wonder. To be okay with not having it all figured out, and that's all I ask of you tonight. It's not going to take much effort, just a little shift in your perspective. But if you're willing to play, I promise you, it will be fun. But most importantly, you will find that in the midst of all that great stuff, it is...
Yang orang lain lihat.
Menebak negara di peta buta. Jauh itu warna biru, dekat itu warna merah, teman-teman. Semakin dekat negaranya, semakin panas warnanya, cuy. Indonesia, teman-teman. Oren, itu lumayan dekat berarti, guys. Gue pengen jadi patokan lu paling jauhnya, USA. Wah, jauh banget itu. Coba kita ke Rusia. Oren, berarti benua Asia nih, teman-teman. Japan.
And we're back. Hopefully, Champ Select going to appear on our screens very shortly. Get this one underway. I'm interested to see again. We were just talking then about Kaka. I do believe, you know, Milan's doing a perfectly acceptable job. Honestly, as the AD carry, especially up against so if you are going to sub out and put in Kaka, who was a mid laner, it does feel like you're wanting to pick an AP champ. Obviously, we saw him do that last game. We saw him then.
Maybe something that doesn't affect the terrain as significantly as Tilia does. Because there are a couple of moments where Arya would have had a much easier time if not for that wave as
Ini kenapa yang nge-ban biru semua Jace partner ya?
No surprises, Nocturne, no surprise, Zyra, again, really no surprise, Jace being taken out of the top lane. And I mean, we did see Tilia banned in the last game. I don't necessarily think that it warranted a target against Kakun in this game, but I mean, we haven't seen any evidence of him playing ADC, only that Tilia, so Ashe being taken away is a pretty safe bet, honestly.
Yeah, with Misfortune and Varus both being removed, she does stand out as the most significant of the 80Ks, right? The only champ we kind of see go against it if Varus is removed is sometimes Corki, which was also removed because it was played by Fofo last game, so Caitlyn is going to be the lock-in. So going to be on the Caitlyn.
I did say something that you can stand a little bit further back, pump out that damage.
Pasti mau di-combo sama Len Haras sih.
Only really thrives when she's the longest range champ in the game. It's something we discussed. I think it was
siapa sih ini?
when control mages have that range.
Siapa namanya yang ultinya bisa itu ngehajar musuh saling sama musuh itu?
Oh, Renata.
A lot of range, a lot of lockdown. Still sort of somewhat. He sort of toes the line between both utility and outright damage because Jin hits hard but also can set up those roots as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw what Betty can do on it yesterday, right?
Jarang sih Renata Caitlyn.
In that pretty disastrous game.
Renata tuh butuh ADC-nya yang bisa sendiri gitu.
Is up
Sendiri main maju-maju gak jelas. Kalau Caitlyn rada susah.
Vigo. Anjir ada Shinzo. Kemarin sih sempat pakai juga ya.
Ada jungler sekarang yang lagi bagus tuh Shinjo, Fry, Wukong, Viego.
Already we're starting to see some great brawly team fight with mop-up potential from Karkun on the Caitlyn. Whereas, yeah, much the same. Both teams' drafts are outlining in a very, very similar way.
Yeah, but here's a big
Aurora.
The Aurora, of course, a very successful champ so far here in the LCP.
Aurora sama siapa dilawannya nih? Sama Victor kan?
Sebenarnya nggak tahu sih, nggak ada counter yang parah banget. Cuman yang penting gitu pas lagi di ulti itu bisa escape aja dari ulti.
I think he does need to go a bit out of left field again, as he did in the Chiefs game. Maybe not as left field as a Yasuo, because that one that just doesn't really fit in the comp, but maybe I would argue there's room for a Silas. It'd be you kind of want to figure out where the rest of these picks are going, but at this stage I wouldn't count it out totally. I think it probably struggles a little bit into the Aurora at this current stage, but I mean, what do you go? Oriana does need to do something a little bit different here. Yeah, won't be the Oriana. And Bessa also
Victor tapi di kiri sih rada nggak nyambung.
Two more bans to come through before we do get to see those picks revealed. Nothing really being picked as a potential
defense.
What do you call it? Flex. Aurora theoretically could, go into the top lane. Very unlikely, however.
Victor ban from Aria. I mean, Yone is still up, which has seen a decent amount of play, but again, he's probably not going to have the most comfortable time.
Rumble tadi udah dipakai.
If you just play this slow game, maybe you can look to, just explode out into the mid game, but Nico taken out, roots upon roots is probably not a great time.
Lantai berapa, Kak? Apa nih lantai berapa, Ji?
Karkun on this Caitlyn, who unless the net's up and available, is likely going to be very over. Poppy. Yeah, look, I rate that given what we've seen so far in the jungle and top lane.
Yeah, I mean, it could go support, but I'm also leaning towards it going in that top lane up against the Jax. It has a very good matchup in that, and the Gragas certainly will be up in that top lane. Pretty difficult lane for Jax to navigate. Often
bisa mage apa?
Down quite a bit of CS because it is so hard to contest through the barrels, through the body slam.
Syndra.
Yeah, I think a lane swap.
Anjir, Vladimir.
The Vlad coming out once again.
Now this is the exact same lane he played it in last time.
Jarang nggak sih pakai Vladimir?
Jarang banget.
Ada Vladimir aja. Vladimirnya masih art lama nih. Maaf salah kirim ke customer ojolku bang, ini aku nunggu customer sambil nonton live-mu. What the fuck? Malah kirim ke sini aja.
Iyalah.
Berarti Silas
Smith Baron itu
supportnya, support Gragas.
Tapi assaultinya tuh jelek buat tim maling. Nggak mungkin juga.
Iya. Nggak ada yang bagus-bagus banget ya. Siapa aja? Ulti Pantheon nggak penting banget. Vladimir masih mode jamet. Iya. Bagusan yang di Wild Rift ininya, artnya. Ntar Guardian Gragas. KDA.
Gragas.
Ini kalau misalnya udah 3 game nih, seru nih habis ini kayaknya nih. Kalau 3 game ketiga.
Champion poolnya udah kosong.
Siapa yang menang ya? Paling Talon lagi.
Harusnya tetap Talon.
DFM, a closely contested game number 1. Looking to try and find themselves a foothold in game number 2 to get themselves that last opportunity in our best of 3.
Yeah, look, I mean, as much as TLN has struggled, they've still managed to close out their games in 2-0 fashion, so at least they've got that going for them. If they win here in a 2-0, it'll put them top of the leaderboard, just above CFO.
Masih ada sisa match score hari ini. Nggak ada. Draft ini gue pick DFM.
But as it stands, we jump into the rift. This
Coba kita lihat.
could be the final game of week 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if you're not familiar, we do not have any games next week. We will be heading into the Lunar New Year break, of course, in LOL Pacific. Many of the countries that
Masalah
here
dari DFM itu dari tadi mereka picknya nggak ada yang bisa
all the players
maksa engage aja gitu.
have some time to, you know, iron out the kinks, find what's going wrong, and try and get some fixes going on before next week. But level 1, we do have Talon all stack in one bush.
Yeah, no shame.
Harus ngarep musuhnya tuh salah posisi gitu. Makanya nggak tahu sih ujungnya gue rasa tetap menang Talon.
LCP turnamen offline-nya di mana? Nah itu nggak tahu tuh. Ini kayaknya turnamen itu offline, cuman nggak tahu lokasi di mana. Kayaknya nggak ada penonton gitu. Kayaknya ya.
But no, seems that Kakun and Harp head down to the bot lane. It is going to be a bot lane mirror match. I mean, realistically, that's not the end of the world. I think it probably favors Talon more. RG on the Gragas is you'd have a little bit of an easier time against the Jax. I think Jax, I mean, realistically, Ray's in a rough spot either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, the top lane matchup's very good for RJ, so you'll feel good about that. On the other hand, though, DFM, they should feel comfortable with this bot lane matchup. It's not an easy lane to navigate as the Jhin by any stretch of the imagination. We'll see, though. We'll see how he does it.
Lokasinya mau di incognito.
Harp's going to be discovered, but that's a level 1 Alistair.
Paling sih lokasi kalau nggak di Vietnam di Taiwan paling.
To a Pinata as a League of Legends champion comes, really.
Yeah, we don't really have any Llama champs in the game at the moment. I mean, Betty, this really should be an even exchange, with DFM have that kill threat in the Pantheon at the moment, so I think they are going to want to force the issue. Those spears just going to keep poking out. Once that W comes online, being able to jump in and get a massive stun to Betty if the opportunity presents itself. Realistically, Woody's just then going to headbutt someone out, and I just don't really see a world in which Betty goes down, but yeah, crazy things happen.
It's about the poke. Betty can't walk up anywhere near the Caitlyn, and the Caitlyn is just going to be able to offer so much damage from so far away, whereas Betty, you know, yes, there is range on the Jhin. It generally comes in the form of the abilities. So at this sort of point of the game where auto attacks are so pivotal, I guess in the bot lane matchup especially, it is just going to always favor the Caitlyn. Very, very minimal amount of champs in the game will compete with just the lane prowess that Caitlyn has.
That could have been rough for Kakun. Sidesteps out. I think if the root landed, there was potentially enough for them to, you know, headbutt pulverize in and just start layering in that damage, force Kakun out of lane. Up at the top side, I mean, Ray's pushed RG in and a fight, but more of a disengage than anything.
Trap not put down quick enough, and so Betty is able to just walk out of there and not have to lose his cleanse, but you are seeing him struggling. He does...
Let's go, maling bang.
Health bot, but the CS largely in favor here of the Caitlyn. Kasa going in against Guon, does get the knockout. He's going to have to flash away, and Guon once again going to have what he wants in this jungle matchup, as he is going to be able to pick up this blue buff. Kasa going to head up to the top side to try and at least claim himself the Scuttle Crab, although Guon pretty wise to that idea as he's looking now in the mid lane and will cross the river.
Bofo waves him on his way. Yeah, Kasa, I think that's a smart call. Just back to base, reset. You've lost your blue. It's just a rough time. You want to come in with full HP, because if Guon does go hunting, I think he ultimately is going to come out on top. He's 12 CS ahead as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good start to the game for DFM. Very early on, Woody does find a way onto Kakun, though he's going to flash away. Betty's still looking aggressively. He needs to get those auto attacks off, and first blood does just go over to Harp as
double kill.
Down the lane. Harp going aggressive here, so low. There's the tail on.
Iya, nggak kena. It's anjir.
Not going to be hit there with that deadly flourish, and so DFM's bot lane will be picking up first blood. It's once again this Pantheon that does claim it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that execute power in the Pantheon. They thought, for some reason, telling that they could commit onto that. Woody spots an isolated Caitlyn. They get the root as well, follows it up with the stun. But Betty is so far disjointed. Harp is playing spoiler. And just the Caitlyn's ability, Karko able to net out and then flash away as well.
Yeah.
They lack their sticking power.
Every lane going poorly for the side of Talon. Yeah, mid lane is fairly even, but we saw yesterday the exact same matchup going a lot better for the Aurora than this one currently is. Now Harp pathing out to that mid lane, of course.
Ini PC pakai Fearless Draft Kakur. Iya. LCP pakai ya?
Pakai.
Semuanya pakai coy. LCP berarti di Europe juga semuanya.
Europe nanti make, cuman dia nunggu yang top 8.
Kasa is down a level and Guon, I mean Guon is knocking on the door of 6 at the moment.
Bentar, LCP. Gue kepikiran tadi LPL aja. LCP guys, bukan LPC.
Yeah, not able to find the way in there as Guon now looking in the mid lane, trying to find something onto Fofo. Won't be able to do so, and in fact takes a sizable chunk to his health bar for his antics. Both top laners here now too. Might have our first 5v5 on the cards. Fofo will be level 6. And at this stage of the game, I have to think that probably the Aurora is stronger, although I haven't seen a whole lot of that to truly comment on.
There's a real possibility we see a Ruinous off the back of this, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice banget tuh Gragas.
Anjir.
Tapi nggak mati aja.
Tapi damage belum kurang damage. Walah.
Dipukulin Void Group anjir. Ayo Vlad. Tinggal satu doang ini mah. Mati. Iya. Oke.
Jeep is just so committed to getting that kill in the hands of Arya that Betty might have walked away. Raze here, they're going to stop the back onto Woody. This wave is going to crash, and that's a teleport committed.
Yeah, I mean,
Dibantu Void Group, iya. Misal stats turnya CP ini ditetapin di Vietnam juga nggak apa-apa. Kali ya sebenarnya biar ada penonton lebih seru dan hype turninya ada. Iya kayaknya. Soalnya Vietnam lumayan gede sih. Tapi mungkin di ini nanti agak semifinal mungkin di situ kali baru di ini. Di open. Tapi nggak tahu ya VCS emang ini dikasih penonton gitu.
Oh, dikasih.
We also see the feeder warfare on your screen was picked up by the side of DFM at the same time. But he just gets chased down, and I mean this is pretty straightforward here. It was a little worrying, but
waiting for that Q cooldown.
Yeah.
Kok berasa gersang Kur? Iya ini map Noxus ini.
Find themselves in the early similar territory to game 1 where they're in the lead. They unfortunately let it slip, but I think the comp this time around scales better into the late game than Lethality Varus does.
Definitely scales a lot harder, and they are the team that can keep the pressure up. They have all the tools in the world to skirmish all the time. They have a Viego. You know, if he gets a reset, things feel very good. Arya, again, will just keep his health topped up nice and full and doesn't have to worry about mana whatsoever. And ultimately, Talon, they really can't fight without ultimates. You know, this Alistair champion is significantly worse if he doesn't have ult because he goes in and just gets one shot.
I mean, the big problem I'm seeing going into the mid to late game is they just have, well, one, Ace in the hole is just going to be a constant threat for Fofo given how much, you know, that damage that will likely do to that health bar. And the Zhonya's could likely be burned using that alone before anyone can get in the way to block the damage. So there's a real problem for Fofo in trying to be able to commit to team fights. Positioning is going to be so key for Talon as a whole. And once again, we see Guon has found an opening and is looking to exploit it more by taking those jungle camps away from Kasa.
Yeah, now starting up on the Dragon, it would be the first objective of the game for them. They did pick up the 2 Void Grubs on the top, but of course it does not count towards your feet progression. Kasa pathing out, might be able to get here in time, but I guess after realizing his blue buff is gone, is just going to be very sad. Very, very far behind currently is Kasa on the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, 2 levels down now with that Dragon being picked up. And Guon, I mean, yeah, I don't think you want to overcommit. You don't want to overplay your hand at this stage with second lot of grubs coming up that soon.
Cuman kanan
I think just a good draft.
malah jadi susah menangnya kalau
does significantly more than Xin Zhao, and you know Xin Zhao wants to go forward at you as he does on the Scuttle Crab here, and Viego typically likes it when champs are jumping in at him. It gives them the ability to land his snares nice and easy, and you get the follow-up from your team and look for those resets.
Tinjaunya bihan parah anjir.
Pacing is eased off. We are going to need to see a flurry of action if we want to hit that, 10 kills by 14 minutes mark.
Well, there is a Void Grub spawning.
There is indeed, 36 seconds. I mean, we're not there yet. We're far from there yet. But at this stage, given what has been picked, it does mean that if we do see Game 3 come up, that the draft does get a little bit interesting. So I'm very keen to see what has been planned for Talon, given that it would be their first Game 3 as well. Aria getting some great damage out onto Fofo.
Yeah, I think also one thing that's cool for DFM here is we've already seen Guwon play the Pantheon. Now we're seeing Hart play the Pantheon. So going forward, any Pantheon pick from this team, it is completely unknown as to which lane it's going. Just opening up a flex pick for themselves that no other team has shown thus far at least.
Oh boy.
Void Grub time. Fofo takes a tower shot, certainly not what he'd want to do. He does have teleport available to himself and he's looking to use it. Maybe we'll have access to an item here. Malignance would be very helpful for the rest of his team as everyone is, or maybe Ludens rather.
Teleport, come on, we got 3 minutes. Okay. Surely we can get the Ruinous Artican going.
Oh, he does get invisibility off. Can he find the ultimate? They find one kill here onto Harp immediately, and Fofo still with that between worlds available to himself. Caster trying to get on out of there, but the reset comes through. That's for Guwon. And Fofo, yes, he gets the between worlds off, but it's a shutdown. It's 2. It's looking like it's going to be 3 as Aria is just menacingly running forward. Woody, he's not got his ultimate anymore. It's a nice snare coming through from Betty, but this Alistair, the cow is going to be milked, and it's not going to go home. Aria will be able to claim that one for himself, as we're seeing on our screen now.
Ini mah kalah dong Talon udah.
Of this DFM roster, I was about to say Talon, but looking big.
Main 3 game lagi nih.
Iya.
If that is not enough,
yang scalingnya malah jadi cepet banget anjir.
I don't know what is.
Dapat lagi grabs.
I have a bad feeling that it's not going to be enough. Betty though might be adding to that tally. He does have cleanse, but Harp very far behind him, and just being able to get out of harm's way.
Ace in the hole is there. So I mean, there was a world where they forced that issue, but if they're going to do it quick, far out. Once again, I mean, it's Talon that start things off. Harp again in position. This time he takes a little bit more damage without the shield going down. But you look at Guwon, you look at Ray getting in, and they just chunk away that front line. Betty gets great shots out, but Fofo is just evaporated courtesy of Casa, all while Aria is dancing around the middle. There's this Vlad soaking up that damage, and then
harus sudah kalah, Sinjaunya udah gak guna.
After Woody, he just bides some time, tries to create an opening for Betty and RG to get away. We'll do that, but ultimately does go down. Thumbs up from Aria. Come on, surely. Unless one more kill and we're at 10 in the first 13 minutes of play.
We'll find out, but I do have
Ini ada sistem win objektif nggak cool kayak LCK yang ada first turret? Ada. Yang buat upgrade sepatu kan?
This is the most bloodthirsty game that we've had pre-14 minutes though.
Yeah, there is a good chance. Regardless, we'll find out later on in the game. For now, DFM comfortably ahead. 3K, this is a very sizable advantage, and so far we haven't seen a team, obviously we've only seen it twice, but haven't seen any way to work around this Vlad Pantheon combination that we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, 3-0 and 3.
Talon menang dong, anjir, ngantuk nih.
Nih, kalau Talon menang sih kayak Iban.
Susah ya.
Susah banget.
7-2 aja skornya, Cok.
How are we dealing with this Vladimir? I don't know what champ's supposed to.
Enak banget itu si Vladimir nyelam-nyelam ke backline. Iya. Nyelamnya itu bisa nembus minion kan ya?
Bisa.
Minion itu yang herannya cuy ya. Buat body block dia nggak bisa. Tapi kalau kita nabrak dia, kita nggak bisa lewat anjir.
I don't know if that, anti-heal is what you want to commit onto for Fofo either, because there's so many other items that are much more important to you. Second Dragon going to be started up for DFM, who have just held all the cards. They're 5 out of 6 scrubs. They should get this second Dragon. First tower does go down. Woody's going to go for it.
Goes aggressive, Fofo finding a bit of damage, but Guon and Ray Farky are just completely okay to keep going forward. And yeah, you get the ult off here as Woody. It's not enough. You're seeing, wow, a lot of reduction coming through from that damage, and still the Alistair's getting one shot. RJ does importantly pick himself up, the tower up on the top side, but Fofo under a lot of pressure here. Gonna have to try and clear out that
Ini game apa
wave.
PC? PC lah.
But the next wave getting cut off at the ankles. RJ
Turni
might
Indonya
try and
tanggal
get down here
1.
with that teleport to save his mid laner. Looks like it's okay.
Yeah, no, I think DFM's made the call. Like, they've got a good advantage. They've got a solid lead at the moment. Don't throw it away. Arya is going to be able to sustain pretty much anything that Fofo throws at him. Has the pull as well as a bailout if need be. And yeah, they just keep that wave priority. Back off for the moment. And look, it's going to be interesting to see if we reach a point where Talon starts making desperation plays. They just don't seem like a team that does.
No, and 3K, while it is sizable, it's not the end of the world, right? This is something that we've seen them down 11K, so you have to have belief that they can come back from this. Admittedly, it is 5 Void Grubs as well as 2 Dragons, which means the timer is well and truly there for Talon. They definitely do not want to just be giving over the Dragon's soul. It makes the game a lot harder. But for the time being, it's DFM with all the chips.
Herald has just gone up. Harp is going to spot RG there in the pit. But, I mean, look, historically, that pit has been, well, the result of 9 deaths so far. If we see Talon look to contest it again, it has not gone well for them.
Yeah, going to be hard to walk into the Caitlyn as well with these traps set up. But at least for now, you know, this Rift Shield not really the target. It's DFM getting those mid waves in and maybe poking away at this tower. Caitlyn, one of the things she does best at.
Yeah, he's sort of posturing, looking to see who will be the first one to give over. The red lands on to go on, but there's no follow-up that close to a tower. It's all just going to be about placing down and clearing vision. Fofo spotted, rotating up that
Gragas
bot side
apak
river.
nih bos
This
damage.
rush has not worked out for Talon so far this game.
Nggak harusnya itu tank.
Why are they so
Dia
committed
cuma ngambil
to making
cosmic
plays out
break
of it?
buat cooldown doang.
Iya itu juga yang ngasih move sih bukan sih? Tim Indo apa aja bang Kor? Tim komunitas apa tim gede? Tim komunitas gitu. Duan kepake nggak? Kepake kalau di PC mah? Di Waldep juga.
Penuh lagi Vladimir.
Cuman yang kena Vladimir aja jadi sama nih.
Oke,
masa nggak mati tuh? Oh nice. Oh dapat tuh. Ya nggak dapat cuma satu doang. Yah mati juga. Wajir gak mati cok. Wes Wajir.
Gatot waduh.
Oh masih ada. Malah dikasih ignite.
Udah kesel itu gak ada yang mati.
Tapi tadi skill 2-nya Jen dia kehalang apa ya?
Gak kena itu.
Oh gak kena.
Gak kena.
Tiba bantuan anjing lu ngapain lu? Aduh, ya mati. Halo Untari.
Oh, I hope this is caught in the replay, because I don't know if you saw it, Bess, but I certainly did. If we do get the replay, the reason that fight started so poorly in the mid lane is because Woody flashed into the wall.
Oh no, again.
He flashed into the wall at Raptors.
It's the second time it's happened.
And he came over spamming the Braum emote as he walked. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, it's too little too late. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, no, Woody just straight flashed into the wall. And then, yeah, walks back into lane, shamed. And look, to be fair, he then did redeem himself quite well.
Kenceng banget Vladimir anjir.
The way that he played the team fight, brilliant curtain call. Ray just
Tas.
trying to do what he can. Brilliant explosive.
Bagus sih tadi ulti Gragas, cuman yang kenanya Vladimir.
Just yeah, look, Talon very much brought that back and just showing the caliber of team that they
Etrinya juga nggak mati-mati anjing.
We'll see if we get Castle off the back end there. We're at DFM and look at just how many low health bars there were.
Udah peluru terakhir loh. Anjir lah.
Woody does eventually pick him up with the fadeaway ignite. Possibly could have left it for RJ, but at that stage, I think if you are Talon, you're like, God damn, we need to kill someone. So just dropping the ignite and making sure you get it is all good to me.
Yeah, I think he just saw the red haze, remembering full well that he flashed into a wall. So yeah, that one, someone clip that. That's going to be a fun one to watch later on. As it stands, though, it's not a massive reprieve. It's just a bit of gold back in the pocket of TLN. They get themselves a couple of towers, but the Rift Hero picked up, secured by DFM, blows the middle of the map wide open. Plus that, I mean, look, they lose the tower, but at least, yeah, I suppose Caster then transitions that into an Infernal. And Atakan,
voracious.
Top side, boring Atakan.
Okay, I mean, it's probably.
Do you reckon Atakan? It's like that relationship, like, you know, Atakan's dad's. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. You know, we could have had Ruinous, but no, son, whatever.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it is probably the more fun one. It's just, you know, I want to see Ruinous to see what it does to the game.
Just to know that it's real.
Yeah, that too. Down to 7k. Speaking of the Atakan, is getting pretty low, but Talon have managed to find a way here into the river, and now it is DFM that are going to have some vision cleared out. They'll have their turn to do the same very shortly. Harp, though, he might be found. He is very fast. Pantheon and Yi, if you weren't aware, the two fastest movement speed champs in the game. Betty admittedly does have boots of swiftness, and god damn, they are running very, very far away. Leading them on a wild goose chase, to say the least.
Track star. That needs to be the next skin, Track Star Pantheon. He's running with the baton out. But
that's actually so good.
That needs to be like the next range of skins, like Track and Field, League of Legends. I reckon you could do a lot of. You could have a lot of.
Pantheon support core.
Yeah, the fact that the Grand Skyfall was committed.
So itu Pantheon support
So I don't know whether it was, he, you know, jumped into the back line, just jumped to mid lane, whatever the case may be. All of a sudden, there was 4 members of Talon chasing him down, and he still gets away. With basic boots, mind you.
Yeah. Admittedly, that's why the side of DFM started up the Atakan, right? They were never truly contesting it, but they were just making sure they could continue to chase Pantheon, because eventually Betty would have got him. He would have at least got the auto attack off and been able to throw out that deadly flourish, but still.
And the Blast Cat was there, he would have just popped over that wall.
Yeah.
So probably could have, or at least gapped him anyway. Oh dear. This has been an entertaining game, to say the very least.
Yeah, and we enter like a lull period. I think this happens quite a lot around the Atakan, where neither team is truly strong enough to take it as long as the other team is there. But all it takes is one misstep around that objective, and the game kind of explodes. It's like, okay, we got the Atakan now. We get to do whatever we want for the next objective. That generally leads to Baron, which generally leads to the end of the game eventually. But until the Atakan is taken, the games do truly feel like they're on an absolute knife's edge, and that's kind of the position we find ourselves at now, right? We're 1.5
sekarang berapa gigabyte? 13 apa ya?
Very strong Viego, but they've got nowhere way to push down the objectives. You know, there's only the Atakan to come up. They've been delayed for another 5 minutes as Talon did pick up the Infernal Dragon, so 2 minutes until that objective comes up, 2 minutes until Baron comes up. So until that time, I don't suspect we're going to see too much action.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You've also got a limited window with the Atakan, so you kind of want to time it so you can utilize those big objectives.
Okay.
Okay.
Menang malah, what? Anjir. 4.
Menang ini ya.
Oh enggak.
Dapat 3. Iya.
3 dapat 3.
Cuman nggak ada objektif sih. Atakan ada ya, Atakan.
Oh,
iya. The power of being able to create space in my
lumayan.
Ini Atakannya yang mana nih?
Iya,
Revive ya. Atakan itu muncul sekali doang ya? Iya, sekali doang di menit ke 20 ya?
20.
He's 3-1 and 4, 200 CS under the belt, whereas you got 7 assists and the same amount of CS for the Caitlyn. And I mean, you're Jin. You just want to sit back while the team fights and throw utility down range.
Yeah, throw utility. He was throwing nuclear weapons, but look at it. They just go too hard on Casa. It's a fantastic ultimate, but it's just too much follow-up. You know, we've now fully committed onto the Xin Zhao that our damage cannot hit, and it's just an absolute shooting range. It's fish in a barrel, and Betty is just claiming everything he'd possibly need. Yeah, Ray Fark and Arya will make it out, but ultimately, what is the point in making out? You know, yes, you survive, but Artikan now gone. Baron almost certainly can be picked up by the side of Talon. This Dragon 100% is theirs. And the team that was very far behind now find themselves with an advantage. And they're the team that have more of the tools to find the team fights, right? They're the team that gets to choose when to go.
I mean, that 100% comes down to a lack of information for
Satu
DFM.
fight doang langsung imbang lagi gitu anjir.
You know, only a handful of members for Talon. They could then collapse onto Casa. But over that wall, you've then got Betty, you've then got Fofo, who just dumped everything on the 3 members of DFM that jump onto this Zin, who then ultimately just negates all the damage anyway with his ultimate. So that was literally the worst possible scenario for DFM there. And Talon then transition into going and getting their second Dragon of the game, yet another Infernal, which is again only going to benefit those high impact champions like the Jhin, like the Aurora as well. So it just goes from bad to really just the worst.
Jadi malah masih bisa menang lagi nih anjir yang kalah.
Absolutely. And I think, I haven't seen the math on it, but I'm pretty sure Jhin is the best user of Infernal Dragon in terms of ADs in the game, because he doesn't, you know, all attack speed and everything like that turns into AD, as well as just, I mean, how the champion works. So anyway, Betty will now have quite a lot of AD, quite a lot of pressure over these towers, despite only having the 4 auto attacks. In goes Fofo, finds the 4-man, are able to get out for the time being, and Fofo's going to have to try and leave. Tower not aggroing on him, so he should be completely fine for now. Ace in the hole, does get the withdrawal, so that's one person now down. RJC on the side, he's the one getting focused down next. Will almost certainly be returning to his fountain. Still, no harm, no foul as teleports coming back in. Fofo will be the first to join. Betty trying to find the damage, and keep in mind, there are still 3 withdrawals.
Talon 2-0 biar ramah streamer. Bener, ramah streamer dan caster.
Akan tele lagi, langsung menang lagi.
Woody's going to claim the second of the team fight. RJ, yes, he's taken pretty low, but ultimately will not be going down. And that's another objective found by Talon. That's another team fight found by Talon, and possibly even looking now to the bottom tower.
The biggest problem for DFM is they just don't want these explosive team fights. They want sustain. They want drawn out. That is where Ari is going to do the most possible damage in these engagements. Unfortunately, the front line is just dying too fast for him to be able to find that opportunity. And you look at it better, he's just straight looking to man fight this Vladimir, who up until very recently was the dominant factor in this game.
Kebait Singzo mulu.
Yeah, just
Iya.
I mean, it's kind of
Dari tadi komit Sinjau, tapi Sinjaunya ulti, nggak ada yang bisa mukul.
I mean, we'll see it here. It starts off reasonably okay for them. Fofo comes in, finds a massive ult, but ultimately all it gets is Kakun's flash, which yes will be impactful later. Explosive cast lost. You see Fofo's very, very low. Ace in the hole even going to take him out. That's one withdrawal, and it's a withdrawal on a very important member of the team. Arjunel's going to get withdrawal too. Both of these champs are the only 2 who can immediately return. DFM still not recognizing teleports can come through, have continued on forward. They go for Casa.
Weh, jangan aneh-aneh lah.
Hit the Zinzao right here, and Fofo and Betty and Woody are all on either side.
Mana yang nge-kill itu Shinzo ya?
And you just see more and more people.
Pas udah ulti bengong anjir.
Harus bisa 2 ronde gitu. Ngebait Sinjau ulti baru sampai habis baru perang lagi.
Whatever the case may be, yeah, that was not a 5v5, that was a 7v5 at the best of times, and there was never a realm in where that doesn't go Talon's way purely because of Artikan and teleport.
Yeah, and that's kind of why, like, you know, this Artikan is more fun to watch, because you get these hectic team fights. As we see Talon, they're setting up around this top side. They know there's no vision in that bush, but now with the Oracles going down on the Baron, nothing's going to have to be committed. They see the teleport go forward, and
oh my god. Menang.
Udah menang gak sih ini?
Belum.
Menang ini.
Baron dapat.
Baron juga ada. Tapi enak juga sih, ada apa? Ultinya Aurora, terus di ulti Gragas, jadi mereka nabrak dindingnya Aurora ya.
Auto ke damage.
Gue kira awalnya bakal jelek aja, ternyata lupa gue dia dindingnya ini ada damage-nya. Gue dukung Talon guys.
Biar cepet udahan deh.
Soalnya gue juga pengen lihat sih sebenarnya kalau game ketiga tuh hero itu bakal gimana nanti nih guys sebenarnya. Cuman gue udah ngantuk. Nice banget anjing. Kena 3 loh itu stunnya. Ini fake-nya bagus banget sih yang kanan. Draft kiri ringkih banget, gak ada badan. Iya juga sih.
Sends the explosive cast and they both go flying into the side of Talon. It's the easiest 2 kills of Betty's life. He's now 6.
Udah berapa kali fake nih menang terus yang kanan nih.
Suffering, it has to be said, up against Harp and Kakun the entirety of the lane phase. And in will go
Bang, MM-nya di chase anjir, boys. Alah, nggak kedorong anjing. Lagi bisa banget, cowok, gampang banget. Ketemu Alistar di situ habis-habisan anjir.
TFT game CHESS terbaik bilang Kur Talon dari Thailand bukan?
Talon dari Vietnam.
Talon Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Udah, tinggal di close.
Ya nggak jadi menang anjir. Udah bagus padahal tadi di early-nya
Iya,
DFM.
padahal awal. Anjir, Vladimir dapat kill banyak padahal. Cuman gara-gara terlalu overcommit ke satu sinjal.
As he does return to join his team. Nice pull again from Arya, but the kill hungry side of Talon are still looking.
Pada spawn nih. Jangan awas aja kalian kena comeback lagi ya anjing.
Enggak sih kayaknya.
Oh nice itu. Oh nice. Kelar. Yeay, pulang cepat. Iya ini global band sih ya.
In the regular season, look forward to a well-deserved break. I have to say, credit where credit is due. DFM did what Team Secret did, but better.
They bisa tidur cepat cuy.
Really put Talon under the pump. Unfortunately for them, Talon are just.
Tapi sponsornya banyak banget di belakangnya.
They are the best team in the league until we see them face off with CFO. That's where that conversation could change. But I'd argue they have represented themselves. They have proved that they are a top contender. They could very well be the best that LCP has to offer. Yeah, at least for the first.
Mukanya nggak kayak orang Jepang, jadi lebih kayak orang Korea.
Si yang Arya mau gue nggak inget ya, kalau hal itu emang dia dari Korea, import. Cuman nggak tahu yang lain.
DFM tim dari Jepang, Detonation.
They're just completely stomping every single game and nothing ever looks close, and they go internationally and get absolutely thumped. I think here, obviously we're only halfway really through the first split. Everyone is challenging everyone. There is no real series that has been like, this was a stomp. I don't remember a single series that went that way. And so now that we're at this position, halfway
Guan XT1 Academy. Oh.
Standings. We've got a week to make sure we keep form for the teams like CFO and Talon.
Itu join T1 Academy itu bayar kan ya?
Harusnya enggak. Kayak direkrut gitu. Kalau yang bagus biasanya bisa dijadiin kayak itu kan apa, sekarang ADC yang ngegantiin Gumayusi itu dari itu juga, dari T1 Academy juga.
Yang ngegantiin Gumayusinya dari ini. Kenapa?
Nggak tahu, gue juga nggak ngerti kenapanya. Cuman dia tuh lagi di bench sekarang.
Di bench?
Di bench.
Oh di bench.
Cadangin dia.
Sama si ini juga dia dari akademi kan, si siapa yang supportnya?
Carrier apa? Lupa, Carrier kayaknya enggak deh. Nggak tahu juga.
Berarti keren juga ya bikin akademi gitu. Berarti kayaknya itu CSR sih guys.
Buat emang sengaja kayak itu aja, bikin bibit baru gitu.
Iya, company apa gitu istilahnya. Biasanya perusahaan gede itu dia harus bertanggung jawab untuk memberikan penyuluhan gitu. Namanya corporate social responsibility guys. Jadi dia bisa bikin apa beasiswa kayak apa kayak gitu-gitu bisa. Oh kira enggak ya? Oh owner yang dari akademi.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at moments like this for DFM, it looked like it was starting to come together in the early stage of this game. These fights around this top side pit in the top river, Betty, yeah, just a slow lead out. But unfortunately, yeah, you do sort of plateau as a Vlad, especially as soon as that heal reduction starts coming online. We saw that, you know, Mortal Reminders there. Gragas also had that Oblivion Orb as well. So, yeah, there was a lot of fighting around.
Korea sama Cina game itu masuk dalam pelajaran, makanya banyak sekolah ada klub gamenya. Seru. Di Indonesia beberapa juga ada sih, kampus gitu. SMA kayak juga ada deh.
Oh, let's go fight over first dragon or second dragon. But as soon as the void grubs are up, at minimum, the junglers are there fighting each other, trying to at least get one of the void grubs away. At best, we get something like this where it is just a 5v5 mosh pit of people throwing their heads.
Di turnamen mode bagus kah bang? Belum ada dipakai si mode ya.
Simon belum pernah ada yang pakai.
Di World Cup sih kepake sih.
World Cup harusnya kepake. Sebel gak jelas soalnya itu.
Tapi kenapa nggak kepake mode ya? Padahal menurut gua lane bully kayak lumayan kuat nggak sih?
Enggak. Di PC mah hitungannya dia jadi scale.
Absolutely, and with that, we'll get to see all the slides, I believe, in the near future.
Mereka dari Akademi SKT1, mana ada di akademinya? Dia sudah ada sebelum ada akademinya. Sebelum ada akademi dia udah di situ duluan. Kalau nggak ada faker mungkin nggak bakal ada akademi itu mungkin. TFT Mobile bapuk banget ya APK-nya. Iya makanya bagusan Golden Spatula kalau APK-nya sih.
Yeah, and I think it does absolute bits for those bottom 4 teams having 2 weeks now to prep going into weeks 3 and 4.
Di WSL aja mode kepake juga karena butuh AP doang.
With certain aspects of the game, and having 2 weeks to tighten that up rather than just the traditional one is going to work in their favor. For the likes of Talon, they're just going to be them refining everything that they're doing right.
Oke, kalau gitu guys, thank you semua yang sudah nonton guys, thank you yang sudah like, thank you yang sudah subscribe, thank you sudah donate, thank you sudah super chat, thank you moderator yang sudah bekerja, dan jangan lupa guys, kurangin gula, banyakin minum air putih, kurangin begadang, rajin olahraga, dan semoga kita ketemu lagi di live atau video berikutnya dalam keadaan sehat ya guys ya. Thank you guys. Nobar kita tutup hari ini ya. Nanti paling kita nobar di tanggal 1, tanggal 2 untuk nobar turni low PC yang saya gitu. Ya kayak komunitas gitulah, ada Indonya cuy. Oke, thank you guys.